Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Tom Slaves. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy Monday. This is episode 222 of the Music Mondays podcast. 222, man. Let's fucking go. 222. And today is April 21st, 2025. Hope you all had a good Easter and a good holiday if you celebrate. Hope you all had a good weekend and all that good jazz. But you guys know the drill, man. I'm your host, Dom Slaves, and welcome to the Music Mondays podcast. Hope you're well. Hope you're chilling. Let's get it, baby. So, solid lineup for you guys this week. We're gonna go over some weekly recap jazz. We're gonna talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. We're gonna talk about recruiting, and we're gonna talk about some SoundCloud exclusive stuff, actually, because I definitely want to get that up on the YouTube channel. So we're gonna talk about SoundCloud exclusives a little bit more extensively here this week, but outside of that, man, let's hop right into it. So let's see here. Let's talk weekly recap jazz. Yeah. So per usual, Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are available and in stock. We still have smalls, mediums, and larges. $20 flat shipping in the United States only. Definitely let us know and send us a DM, send us a message if you'd like one of those. Again, very limited supply still, but that'll be something that we focus on a little bit more in the middle of the year when it comes down to Music Mondays merch and whatnot. But basic logo t-shirts are still available right now. And of course, every Tuesday following the Music Mondays podcast, early access Patreon content does drop on the Music Mondays Patreon. So when it comes down to that, per usual, if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon, you gain early access to the Music Mondays podcast in high quality, where you can download it, clip it, record it, do whatever you want with it if you don't want to use the Twitch rebroadcast. So that does drop every single Tuesday. So definitely go check out our Patreon and heat shit out to all of our Music Mondays Patrons. You guys are wonderful, wonderful individuals. So that's Tuesday. Following that into Wednesday, SoundCloud Sunday submissions do go live every single Wednesday. So per usual, make sure you follow us on social media to stay up to date when all of our playlist submissions and all of our podcast submissions do go live. So following Wednesday, per usual, outside of that, we do some audio podcast promo every single Wednesday. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. And like I said, just make sure you follow us on socials and stay up to date with everything that's going on the Music Mondays platform. So let's continue on, my friends. Let's continue on. That was Wednesday. Heading into Thursday, per usual, episode 221 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on all audio platforms. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. The Music Mondays podcast is available there as well, per usual. So make sure you stay up to date and make sure you follow us on your preferred podcast platform. So that's Thursday. Heading into a little bit deeper on Thursday, brand new YouTube upload is available on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, where we did community feedback number 21, actually. Last week we headed into community feedback since it was a new month, and we hadn't done one for April yet. But when it comes to community feedback, that's our feedback segment where we let the community kind of voice their opinions and their ideas and their thoughts and what they want to see on Music Mondays and the Music Mondays podcast in general. So again, if you have any ideas for Music Mondays, definitely go check out community feedback number 21 and drop your ideas below. Or you can send us a tweet as well, per usual. Outside of that, heading into Friday, that pretty much caps off Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday is usually a pretty stacked day for us. But like I said, heading into Friday, 2 brand new articles are live right now by myself and the homie M. We dropped a couple of review pieces that are available right now on the Music Mondays homepage. A couple of banger pieces. Again, my piece is pretty intense. M did a decent single review, so definitely go check those out. 2 written pieces are available right now. Those are W reads, and huge shout out to M. Yeah, we had a banger Friday, actually. Forgot we dropped 2 articles this week. Outside of that, heading into Saturday, episode 221 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on YouTube right now. So if you prefer to watch the Music Mondays podcast back on YouTube, that is available right now, and that is always available every single Saturday. So again, make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. And a huge shout out to everybody that submitted, tuned in, and showed love to episode 221. That was Saturday. Heading into Sunday, SoundCloud Sunday volume 183 is available right now on our SoundCloud. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted to SoundCloud Sunday, volume 183. Again, another banger fucking playlist. SoundCloud Sunday has always been going crazy, man. I'd say for quite some time, SoundCloud Sunday has been picking up some steam. So huge shout out to everybody that does submit to SoundCloud Sunday. You guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this week's cover art was actually done by 60. So huge shout out to homie 60. Much love. Our Residential Music Mondays staff designer. So, outside of that, that leads us to today, April 21st, actually. Monday, 2025. We're here, episode 222. I hope you're well, hope you're chilling. That was your weekly recap. That's pretty much everything major that you missed at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so. Let's see here. So we got Ghost in the chat. What's good, Ghost? Hope you're well, hope you're chilling. Let's get it, baby. Happy Monday. Hope you're well. Hope everything is Gucci. Outside of that, what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so? So one thing that we finally got done, and that I actually didn't really put in the weekly recap, is the Music Mondays Patreon update is available right now on all social media. That has finally launched officially, where we kind of break down all the tiers and give you guys a little bit more insight on the Music Mondays Patreon in a 2025 revamp. So again, that is available right now. Finally. That was something that I've been talking about for some time, but that took a while to actually get all the tiers and get all the rewards and all the good stuff kind of organized when it comes to the Music Mondays Patreon. So that is available right now, and that is a huge fucking update. So definitely go check that out on socials and go show that post some love. I'm good, broski. Love to hear that, my friend. Let's fucking get it. Let's get it, baby. Love to hear that, Ghost. So outside of that, like I said, what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so? Let's talk about it. So, now that the Patreon update is fully finalized, that is a big fucking W. So outside of that, one other thing that we were going to focus on is one last Music Mondays merch post, where we kind of compile somewhat of a lookbook where everybody kind of has all their Music Mondays merch photos into one sort of post. So that'll be something that we kind of put together for like late spring. Then outside of that, I've been talking with the Music Mondays staff about our next event. That I think the community will be happy with. Will definitely be happy with. So, like I said a little bit last week, I don't want to talk too much about it because the details aren't fully ironed out yet. But you'll see us slowly talk about it when it comes to our next event and what we're gonna do in the summertime, right? Because again, I definitely want to do Cyberfest 3. We're definitely gonna get another album together, and this kind of newer event is something that we'll be doing for the first time. So again, a lot of those details and a lot of the smaller stuff should be coming out at the beginning of summer-ish. I'd say like June, July-ish. But right now, me and the staff are kind of ironing out some details on the next event and really what it's going to entail. So as soon as I know, you'll know, and we'll be talking about it here on the Music Mondays podcast per usual. But again, we got a pretty decent newer first-time event coming up. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then outside of that, we'll be diving into a little bit more recruiting as well. So you'll see a new recruiting flyer go out this week. Where we'll kind of be recruiting for all the Music Mondays staff roles. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We're looking to add a little, I think like 2 or 3 more members before the summertime. So again, if that's something that interests you, definitely keep your eyes peeled and let us know if you'd like to have that conversation. But outside of that, that's pretty much like everything major. So a new Music Mondays merch piece will be coming out on socials. We're kind of ironing out our new summer events. And then outside of that, a new recruiting flyer will be dropping over the course of the next week or so. That's pretty much like everything major coming up on Music Mondays over the course of the next week. But again, you'll be finding out about everything here first on the Music Mondays podcast. And of course, make sure you follow us on socials to stay up to date in case of any emergency announcements or anything like that. So exciting times, man. Exciting times. April flew by, but we're using spring pretty wisely. So I'm definitely excited, man. Definitely excited. As you were good. We're good. We're chilling. No complaints. No complaints, my friend. Good Monday. But yeah, definitely a huge W. So, outside of that, we spoke about the weekly recap. We spoke about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. Let's talk recruiting. So, per usual, Music Mondays is recruiting. We are on the hunt for all of our staff roles. That includes writers, journalists, designers, curators, Media personalities, if you want to do some short form stuff, you want to do some long form stuff, you want to do anything like that, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email, and we'll be happy to have that conversation with you. Again, because like I said, we're trying to add at least like 2 or 3 more staff members before the summertime. So if you're interested in Music Mondays or the Music Monday staff team in general, like I said, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. We actually just uploaded the new Music Monday staff role guide where I kind of break down each of the staff roles in more detail and really what their content is about, what they're expected of, and things like that. So definitely go check that out if you want any more information on Music Monday staff roles. Or like I said, definitely send us a message, send us a DM, because we'd be happy to have that conversation with you. And of course, per usual, resumes are preferred, but definitely not required. So if you're kind of newer to the underground, you're kind of newer to independent media, and you need somebody to kind of show you the ropes, that's definitely something we're down for as well. So again, resume definitely preferred, but not required, because we'll be happy to show you a thing or two when it comes down to Music Mondays. So, outside of that, like I said, just send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. You'll see a new recruiting flyer go out this week. So that'll be exciting. But again, like I said, contact myself, contact Music Mondays, or you can contact any of the Music Mondays staff team. Per usual, this will definitely be uploaded on the Music Mondays YouTube channel just to spread the word a little bit more. So again, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel for more updates, underground tips and tricks, exclusive segments, full podcast episodes, all that good jazz is available over there on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. And we do drop 2 videos per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you go show all these artists in these videos some love. Let's get it, baby. W. Absolute W. So I think we pretty much went through everything. Because I have a couple of discussion segments that I want to get done here on the show over the course of the next month or so, but the recruiting segment was definitely something that I wanted to get uploaded on the channel, so we won't dive into a discussion segment too deep here this week. But next week, I think we'll have a little bit more of a deeper topic when it comes down to a discussion segment. But outside of that, I think we can hop right back into some submissions per usual. So I'm down. Let's get into it. Let's hop over to Twitter and pop open Twitter. Let's get it. Alrighty, my friends. You guys know the drill, but if you don't and you're new here, tweets are always in the same format and they'll always read. Artists and creative submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on April 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch.tv/SongPlays, which is here and now. So per usual, tweets are always in the same format every single week, but again, just make sure you're double checking the date and make sure you're submitting for a show that has not happened yet and you're not submitting for a show that already has happened. So again, just make sure you double check the date and you're good to go. Outside of that, if you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So per usual, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show. Everything from music, obviously, to instrumentals, to music videos, to AMVs, to YouTube edits, to merchandise, photography, videography, vlogs, quite literally all sorts of things. So again, if you're an independent underground creative and you think you deserve some spotlight and you want to showcase what you have going on the Music Mondays podcast, definitely don't be afraid to submit any type of links or submissions, because we're definitely down. We're absolutely down. So outside of that, per usual, we do have a 3-hour show limit just to make the show a little bit more palatable to watch back. Again, one could argue that a 3-hour show is still a little bit long to watch back, but it's definitely not as long as our previous 5, 6, 7-hour shows that we used to have in like 2023. So again, that's just to make the show a little bit more easier to watch back. And of course, we're one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch on Mondays. So again, it does take a little bit of the pressure off of the staff team, just so we can keep bringing you these shows on a weekly basis. So outside of that, per usual, submissions are free. They always have been free, and they always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. So again, submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays before you do submit, just to pay respects to everybody else that does wait for their submissions to be reacted to every single week here on the show. And of course, to spread our message, right? I mean, that's also one of the main gigs, but also it's kind of a double win for you because you gain access to a wonderful, wonderful, friendly, talented community of creatives. So again, like I said, kind of a win-win. Outside of that, Patreon's subscriber submissions are played first every single week here on the show. So per usual, if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, whether that be the basic tier, the advanced tier, or the premium tier, you gain access to a whole bunch of goodies over there on the Music Mondays Patreon. But one of the main ones is the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which allows you for the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays podcast, or the Music Mondays Patreon, I should say, to have your submissions reacted to first here on the show. And not only are they reacted to first, but they're also guaranteed to be reacted, right? Because, sometimes we gain upwards of 30 plus submissions or so some nights and some weeks. So it does make sure that it essentially guarantees your submission to be played first every single week here on the show. And again, for the duration that you are subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon. And per usual, huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patrons, man. You guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you. So that's per usual. Outside of that, I think the last major thing that we do have to discuss is submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts, just so we can actually get a little bit of a head count and kind of see what the show's looking like submission-wise. And of course, so that way we don't mess up the order. So again, good rule of thumb is that if the show is live, submissions are definitely closed. So per usual, like I said, that's just to make sure that we don't mess up the order and we kind of keep things organic and we let the order kind of do its thing naturally, right? So you do have about 6 or 6.5 so days to kind of get your submissions in. So again, plenty of time to get your submissions in, but again, just keep that in mind. That submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts. And again, we are a live show, so we like to keep things a little bit free flow and a little bit easier. So we like to get to each submission in a prompt and timely manner. Outside of that, that's pretty much it, my friends. If you'd like any more information on the Music Mondays podcast, we do have a how to submit to the Music Mondays podcast guide on the Music Mondays YouTube channel right now, where I kind of dive into the Music Mondays podcast a little bit deeper, and I kind of explain why we take submissions on Twitter, the lore of the Music Mondays podcast, and explain everything in a little bit more detail. So again, definitely go check that out and go show that some love. So, I think we're good to go, my friends. We are good to go. So, let's see how many Patrons we have here tonight, and then we're going to dive into our community submissions. So, first, we got the homie Jordan. Jordan's been killing it lately, so I'm definitely excited to kick the show off with Jordan for sure. Then I believe we have the homie Laveries as well. Laveries came through, submitting it later at 5 today. Shout out Laveries with the last-minute submission. We love that. And then we do have a Laveries submission down bottom. Okay, I'm down. So we're going to kick off the show with Jordan, and then we're going to hop into Laveries. So again, Jordan, a multi-genre talented artist, producer, engineer, designer, a multi-talented artist, has submitted a track titled Missing Piece. Now, like I said, Jordan's submissions recently have been fucking insane. I won't lie to you. We're about 5 months into 2025, and Jordan has had a stellar year. And every single submission has been not only super variety filled, right? You can never really guarantee what you're going to get from Jordan, but also at the same time, the level up in all aspects, whether that be mixing, writing, or delivery, or anything like that, has just been really, really fucking stellar. So I'm excited to see what Jordan's been up to, man. But like I said, they submitted a track titled Missing Piece. Let's get into it. Let's pop it open a new tab, and let's see what we got here. I always forget about dark mode, man. I mean, I look at SoundCloud every day, but it's still jarring to finally have dark mode. So quite literally brand new, 7 hours ago. Let's get into it. Jordan and the homie Cat, Missing Piece. Let's go.
It's quiet now, the air is still. There's no one else, just you and me. I close my eyes as the rest for real. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be. Nowhere to be. Stay here with me. Nowhere to be. Stay here with me. Just stay here close, you know the world is ending. I know you're close, I know you seem pretending. Nowhere to go, I need you here with me. Want you to know you are the piece missing. Just stay here close, you know the world is ending. I know you're close, I know you seem pretending.
Oh shit.
where to be. Stay here with me. Just stay here close. You know the world is standing. I know you're close. I know you sleep pretending. Nowhere to go. I need you here with me. Want you to know you are the piece missing. Just stay here close. You know the world is standing. I know you're cold. So I know you sleep pretending. Nowhere to go. I need you here with me. Want you to know you are the piece missing. You are the piece missing. You are the piece missing. Nowhere to be. You are the piece missing. Why would we leave? There's nowhere to be. Why would we leave? Why would we leave?
Wow. Man, this is becoming a pretty fucking crazy duo. I won't lie to you. It's becoming a really, really crazy duo. Um, so this is the second song that we heard from Jordan and Kat, right? 2 weeks in a row, and it's just been like such a natural kind of sounding feeling. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, like these two together sound very, very natural. Sometimes with this, it feels forced. Sometimes if like you just try to smash two artists together, or maybe two artists try to collaborate, and some things just don't pan out, whether that be the beat or somebody's off or anything like that. But these tracks with Jordan and Kat seem very natural, and that's what I like about it. It's very like noticeably natural and comfortable. This one has a way more of like a cloud like comfortable kind of dreamlike vibe. Um, they're crazy. I agree, Ghost. I agree. They're definitely crazy. Definitely crazy. Fantastic duo. Um, but yeah, this one's very relaxing. I mean, that's like two tracks that we've heard that have just been very like again almost dreamlike and just a very soft kind of feeling. Kind of reminds me of this group, Oh Wonder, and there's been a couple of duos that come to mind like this that are um just really natural. It just sounds natural. But let's talk about it, man. Let's break it down here. So we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. We're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, no credits in the description as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's probably Prod Jordan per usual. We already know who did the art, Jordan, and obviously vocals by Jordan Cat. So, we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, man, instrumental's great. I mean, I feel like they really know how to like pick an instrumental for their style. You know what I mean? Because it's not like they're just willy nilly and kind of picking any instrumental or even just crafting any instrumental. Again, it has this very like slow indie R&B dreamlike kind of softer feeling, right? And they pick perfect instrumentals for that, and they craft perfect instrumentals for that. So I love the choice off rip. Both instrumentals have been very similar in a good way, and I think this style works for them. You know what I mean? I really think it works for them. So again, instrumental's great. I just love the choice in general. Um, the mix though, I mean, the mix is really solid. I mean, it has this almost like theatrical kind of mix. Sometimes with these styles of instrumentals, you can really do some crazy shit with the mixes. You know what I mean? Like, you could really make certain shit wide, and like, depending on like what kind of instrumental it is, you know, certain shit just shines, So I'm a big fan of this mix. I feel like their voices do really well with it as well. Nothing clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on the instrumental, to be honest with you. Not really a shocker. Jordan and Make More Creative Junk always have a very consistent vocal mix or an instrumental mix and just song mix in general. So not really a shocker, like I said, but something I always want to point out. Um, hmm. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. I kind of want to say drums. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was gonna say the melody at first, right? But like the more that it sat with me, I was just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like the drums were so well crafted, like down to the patterns, but the sound selection was like really solid on the drums. I feel like everything really complemented each other. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go drums, but I feel like the melody's a close second. I like the structure too. Let's go drums for the instrumental. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is fantastic. There was a bunch of small stuff in the vocal mix that I noticed. Like there was a couple switch ups of sounds and just certain placements of things that I just thought was funny. Like, you know, it really is sometimes the small shit in songs that make the world a difference, right? It could be in production, it could be your ad libs and the vocals, it could be just like an extra layer or something you put somewhere, and it just makes the world a difference. And that's what I found a lot of in this track. So I feel like they did a really good job mixing this. But again, crisp, clean, clear, straight to the point, not like super dry, but not like overloaded with effects either. I feel like it definitely hits that like nice, crispy middle ground that you need for a track like this that has like a lot of harmonies and you're kind of doubling up on vocals and things like that. So you don't want to go too crazy with effects. And like I said, I feel like they did hit like a nice middle ground. Kind of like last week's track, very much on point. So vocal mix, very solid. Very, very solid for both of them, actually. Um, Vocal shining star. Yeah. This one's kind of tough because I like the writing, but ultimately, I think the flow and cadence and delivery is what would make me come back as like a listener, right? If I just like look at this from like the outside looking in, and we're not on a we're not on the Music Mondays podcast or anything like that. I feel like the flow and cadence and delivery is probably what's going to make me come back, just because it's so liable to get like caught in your head, and it's so like it's so rememberable, So like the replayability factor is like insane on this track. But writing is up there though. I will say that writing is definitely up there. But I'm gonna have to go flow and cadence and delivery for this one for sure. Flow and cadence and delivery was very comfortable for me, and it feels like one of those comfy tracks. Like say you have like a comfy moody playlist. This is definitely one of those tracks you throw on there. A nice Sunday morning kind of track. That's how I definitely describe that for sure. But instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, flow and cadence, delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. So again, I spoke a little bit about this cover last week, but I do like this cover from Jordan just because again, you're like heading towards that like minimal, simplistic kind of direction. But again, if you take like these IRL photos and like sometimes they're like abstract or sometimes they're just like different, right? This is one of those ones that really like it kind of hit the nail on the head, especially for like a duo project, right? Jordan and Kat. So it kind of hits that middle mark, right? And then like you have like the heart here, and like the fact that it's painted by Jordan just like makes this all the more like intimate, for the listener. So I mean, to be honest, I'm a fan of this one. I'm a fan of this one, especially for like a small EP, right? If you're doing like a 3-4 track EP, covers like this always really hit sometimes. Um, because you don't always have to do like a crazy piece of art. It depends on what the project feels like to you as an artist, right? And I feel like Jordan definitely went the right direction here. So aesthetics very much on point, simple, and also one thing I do want to add is I feel like the color palette like matches the feeling of the track as well. Like I feel like if you were to put this track in colors, this would definitely be it for sure. So aesthetics on point. I'm definitely a fan. Overall theme, missing piece. It's almost similar to last week's track, except a little bit more subliminal, if you will, right? A little bit more subliminal, but also like it's relatable if you've kind of been there. You know what I mean? Because I spoke a little bit about it last week with a few submissions, and you know, sometimes when you meet your person, man, it like does have that like missing piece effect, and it'll really have like a wild feeling on you. You know what I mean? Like if you just meet a partner that's like way different from like anything you've ever experienced in life, I feel like that is like it really invokes um such a wild kind of feeling and like inspiration inside of you that you can really only get from that. You know what I mean? Kind of like how you can only get like sad inspiration from like really traumatic events that you go through in your life. I feel like it's the same with love as well, right? Love and like those higher emotions. I feel like you really kind of nail those down when it comes down to creating when you're feeling like that, and you like put it on paper and then you record it and then you come up with these like ways of describing how you're feeling. It can be like euphoric almost. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm getting a lot of here from these collabs from Jordan and Cat. Like I'm really getting a lot of that like euphoria kind of feeling, and it's nice to see. You know what I mean? Because like it's being put in such a way that Um, it's very enjoyable for the listener, and they don't even really have to be in love. You know, like sometimes love songs like they're kind of annoying if you're not in love or you're not in like one of those kind of feels. But then some certain love songs you don't even have to be in love for, and they're just great songs either way. You know what I mean? So that's the direction that I feel like they're heading into. So that's why I like this duo so much. It just feels natural. You know what I mean? So, well done, my friends. Well done. But with that said, huge shout out to Jordan. Thank you so much for the submission. That was a great way to kick off the show. Make sure you go follow Jordan on SoundCloud. They're only 10 followers away from 100. That is a W milestone. Make sure you go follow Jordan on Twitter as well. They're only 4 followers away from 400. Another W milestone. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you're not already. Life hack, write songs for your girlfriend and ask her to sing. Yeah, literally, like, like it's such like a rare feeling. It's such a rare feeling. Good for you, my friend. Good for you. It's just such a great natural form of inspiration, to be honest with you. I think that's so sick. But let's get it, baby. Happy Monday, and thank you so much for your submission. Let's fucking go. But you guys know the drill. We're gonna keep moving along here, and we have the homie Laveries up next, our last but certainly not least patron of the night. Laveries, a very talented hip hop artist, has come through with another official vertical lyric video, and this one's Dark Aura. So Laveries is coming off hot off of Recession Rap and Recession Proof, and their vertical lyric video kind of demolishment. Like they've been killing it recently. They've been absolutely fucking killing it. So I'm definitely down to see what Laveries is up to. I'm in here. What's up? Let's fucking get it, Laveries. Hope you well. Happy Monday, baby. Let's go. Let's go. But let's see here. So before we get into it, Laveries said in the caption, this track is the definition of aura farming / clip farming, Dark Aura. I'm kind of interested in the context of what that could possibly mean. I'm very, very, very interested to see what Laveries means. Okay, so brand spanking new, only 2 hours ago. Let's get into it. Laveries Ghost, a Dark Aura official vertical lyric video.
I miss it. I need it. Their art is just not reflective of the times that we're living in.
Session rap.
So fucking crazy that it must be ghost.
Recession rap.
Bitch, I feel like, bitch, I feel like Arby's.
Holy shit.
She call me DJ Khaled, cause I got the keys. Yeah, I make her sing, just like Alicia Keys. Then she get down on her knees and she get on my cheese. I see I go Parmesan, bitch, I got it all. I ain't smart, but when I stand on money, I get tall. I ain't a rapper with a rap shit. If I was a what called Saul, bitch, I'm grinding. I don't give a fuck, I'm ballin' till I yeah, I'm never falling off. I feel like Kendrick at the Garden, I deserve it all. This ain't no sprint, little bitch, this shit a fucking marathon. I'm just warming up, they calling me phenomenal. They could hate me, they could love me, I'll be cool with it. The way I do this shit is magic, you might think that I play. Nah, fuck that shit, I was finna say Quidditch, but fuck J.K. Rowling, transphobic ass. Hunter
Shit.
my line. Yeah, she said I got Dark Aura, she'll be signed to Cardi. All these hoes, they think I'm gnarly, tryna give me bodies. I might fuck a rich bitch and take all of her money.
That was crazy.
My bitch might be cool with it, I ain't being funny. She said, damn, you toxic. I said, baby, I'm iconic. She gon' give me logic while I'm smoking on that chronic. She gon' call me God, even though we both agnostic. I'm all in her twat, and she singing real melodic. Bitch, I got my KTL. I need me a bitch with a BBL. I need my bitch demonic. I'ma take her ass to hell. I'll take a witchy bitch and keep her ass under my spell. She
Whoa.
gon' suck me while I'll make her yell and she won't never tell. I need a bitch who sip on wine. She put Molly in it. I'm a studio addict, but don't call me non-vicious. 19-year-old Jag Harlow, I'm so ambitious. Youngest to ever do it, breaking records like it's Guinness.
Yeah.
Bitch. Yeah. Hey. She said I got no aura. Love Aries 2025. Shit is mine. Yeah.
Whoa, what the fuck? Wow, I have a lot to say about this one. This one is, I get it now. Yeah, I get it, for sure. This track is the definition of aura farming, clip farming. And it's, like, in a good way, too. Because, like, usually those phrases are, like, associated with, like, whack shit, but I feel like Laveries really, like, used it in, like, an honest way here, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit. You thought it was my idea after I heard the song back. Yeah, no, that was fire. Absolutely fire. Let's get it. Hope you well. Let's get it, baby. Um, man, this might be like top 3 on the deluxe. This might be like top 3 on the deluxe. It really might be. Huh. That is fucking crazy. And the deluxe is almost such like it's like a significant upgrade, you know what I mean? Like you don't see that a lot with deluxe projects. You know what I mean? Cuz like usually even when like bigger artists and like mainstream artists will do deluxe projects, it's just like a few songs added. But I feel like the few songs that Laveri's added were like almost a level up from the project. You know what I mean? It's like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like that's like insane. Like it's like almost like not only does it give you a reason to go back, but it gives you something to like look forward to when it comes to recession proof, right? Huh. That's fucking crazy. Okay. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme. Or no, scratch that. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we'll talk about the official vertical lyric video. And again, Laveri switching up the scenery, like again, perfect. You know what I mean? Perfect. Might be top 3 to be honest. Yeah, no, I feel like that's not a crazy take. Yeah, it just might be top 3. It just might be top 3. Like, I feel like that's not like an insane thing to say. You know? Damn. But yeah, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. So, let's talk about the instrumental. Probably about the Homie Ghost. Again, another crazy instrumental on the project, right? I mean, I feel like this one really sticks out as like a really good like OG kind of dark trap kind of feel, right? Definitely has like a heavy dark trap kind of feel, but it is a Laveri's kind of instrumental. Like when you hear this, you could definitely like hear Laveri's on it for sure. So, picking this one was definitely like a no brainer. I could kind of see how Laveri's had a vision for this one for sure. Um, Hmm. All right. Instrumental mix. Fantastic, to be honest with you. I mean, anything Prod Ghost, especially as of recently, has been super, super solid. We've even heard a few like older Ghost tracks, and even those instrumentals are really solid. So again, not really a shocker that this one's mixed to a T, but something I always want to point out for anybody new here, right? So, nothing super clashy, too overbearing. I love the sound selection. I feel like all the melodies are great. The drums really come through nicely. The 808 in particular is really solid. I mean, I never really have any gripes with Ghost's mixing at all when it comes to their instrumentals, so not really a shocker, like I said, but you always got to point that out for anybody new here. So instrumental mix, very much on point. Very much on point. Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand, I do like the structure on this a lot. I will say, like, I do fuck with the structure, but I mean, drums you could make a fair point about, but the melodies too. The melodies are very memorable and they're catchy, you know what I mean? Very catchy. Hmm. Hmm. I kind of want to cheese it out and say drums just because I do like the drums a lot, but I feel like the melodies really deserve the shine here on this one. I feel like the melodies really go crazy. Let's go melodies, but drums are a close second for sure. Definitely melodies, 100%. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, Laverius has had a really solid vocal mix as far as recession rap and recession proof goes, to be honest with you. So again, not really a shocker that the vocals are on point, but their engineer does a really good job, especially when you consider Ghost Beats and like how everything kind of pans out and the final product. I mean, how could you be angry at it? You know what I mean? Levels are good. Nothing that like really stuck out to me as like off-putting or anything like that. Again, crisp, clean, clear, straight to the point. Nothing I would change about the vocal mix, to be honest with you. I need more 808s. Yeah, right. I feel that, yeah. I can't remember if this is a co-prod or not. Yep. I didn't use many loops for this deluxe, right. But yeah, vocal mix, definitely on point. I feel like the track itself is great. And again, drums cut through nicely. Vocals definitely sat nice, so I definitely have no gripes with the vocal mix at all. Hmm. Vocal Shining Star. I mean, some of the bars on here were crazy. Some of the bars on here were fucking crazy. I feel like we might have to go writing in lyrics. We definitely might have to go writing in lyrics. I won't lie. Because some of the bars on here were just fucking nuts. Flow and Kate's delivery is up there, though. I feel like you could argue Flow and Kate's delivery. But let's go writing. Writing and lyrics for sure. Just because the J.K. Rowling line was hard, too. Like, there's a lot of hard-ass lines in there. Let's go writing. Flow and Kate's delivery, though, like I said, that's up there, too. That's for sure up there. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk about the official vertical lyric video. Yeah, because the lyrics were fucking nuts, though. Literally, I think this is all proud by me. Let's fucking go. So for those of you that have been watching the show recently, Laverius has been on a tear with the vertical lyric videos, and you know, I can't speak highly enough of these, to be honest with you. This one's kind of interesting because, and it has this like one take kind of feel to it, but again, the location's different. The flashing on the screen is definitely a W. The lyrics bottom, middle, and kind of getting this like darker kind of feel to it for a song like this was a smart move. You know, I mean, the song is called Dark Aura, right? So I mean, no brainer to kind of like have like a little bit more of like a darker visual for it, right? But you know, this one goes right in the collection, to be honest with you. Fits really nicely along the rest, just because again the location's really different, but also it's like very similar as well. You know what I mean? I feel like all the lyric videos go really well together. Like you could like watch them all back to back, and you kind of get a good feel for Laverius and the project. You know what I mean? So I feel like this one was like a necessary piece for the collection, to be honest with you. So that I'm big on. I'm definitely big on this. But the one take is pretty crazy. You know, I mean, the other ones are similar, but this one kind of struck me as like, I don't know. It's very interesting. Like this one just kind of had again, not to put the pun in, but a little bit of a different aura and energy to it. Yeah. So this one kind of like somewhat is in its own lane, but I feel like for this track, Laverius kind of did a really good job with this one when it comes down to like getting the appropriate feel for it, if you will. Because it made me kind of like it's a little bit more of a serious lyric video, if you will. You know, it's a little bit more serious when it comes down to the mood, and I really feel like that's where Laverius kind of shined here, to be honest with you. But again, I feel like the idea in general, you could almost do anything, and as long as you think it looks like really hard and it comes out sick, it's gonna add to it. It's gonna fucking add to it. That's why, like I said, like this is like a necessary piece for the rest of the lyric videos because they all go together. Like watching them back to back to back is definitely a trip because you kind of like understand the project after that, you know. And there really wasn't like much to it, you know what I mean? But it enhances the project so much. So that's why I feel like again, shit like this is so necessary, like absolutely so necessary. Simple but very effective. You know what I mean? That's why I was such a big fan of Ear Candy. That's why I was such a big fan of these. You know, and like having like 3 or 4 of these released at a time or over the course of like a month is great. You know what I mean? Like it really, really like pushes the project even further. Man, it's pretty insane to see. I won't lie. It's pretty insane to see. I think Laverius did a really good job putting out a project like this, especially being only 19 and like kind of like understanding like how you know, a DIY like independent rollout goes. You know what I mean? Because you only have like a limited budget, you only have a certain amount of things, and you only have a certain amount of time, and you know X, Y, or Z. Like there's a lot of factors for this. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like easy to like figure out this sort of rollout. You know what I mean? So I feel like the various kind of really pushed the bar and kind of like set the standard for other independent artists. You know what I mean? Like I really feel like that's one of those things where you know, people see this and they feel like they gotta match it. You know what I mean? Like, as like an up and coming artist, like this type of shit like has to motivate you. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that this like doesn't motivate you. You know? There's no way. Dropping every week. No, like, yeah, let's fucking go with Varys. I'm always down. You know that. So I'm like, fuck, absolutely always down. Absolutely. Let's fucking get it, Ghost. For 20 today, I dropped the deluxe, by the way. Oh yeah, so then there you go. Yeah, so even then, 20. You know what I mean? Like even 20 is like fucking insane. You know, like this is like a solid way to do it. You know, a real solid way to do it. And like, you know, again, like rollouts like this aren't easy, and like you do nothing but like gain from it. You know, like actually like rolling shit like this out is like you just learn for the next project, you know? Because like you have unlimited chances to kind of like roll out ideas. You have unlimited chances to kind of execute shit. So as long as you're like learning from each of these drops and kind of like, you know, figuring out like what you could do better, and you know, who knows, you know, like even a year from now, you might have like a whole different vision for like what you want to do, you know? So that's why it's just important to like do shit like this so you can learn way more, you know? The data is more important. Data is definitely important for sure. Probably a single at some point as well. Yeah, right, for sure, for sure. Yeah, because like, you know, the project and then the deluxe back to back, and then ear candy and the visuals. I mean, yeah, I agree, I agree. And then a single soon, you know. But hmm, shining star here though. Um, I would say the post processing. I kind of like the editing on this one. You know what I mean? I kind of like the editing on this one. Kind of a one take, but like simple but effective. You know, lyrics bottom mid. Even the flashing in the room is like really kind of putting this over. You know what I mean? I'll say the post processing for sure, for sure. But yeah, one other thing I definitely recommend doing is like watching them all back to back, because we have the Taylor Lives one here like right next to it in the recommended. So again, like watching all these like back to back has got to be like trippy. It's definitely got to be trippy for sure. But well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Laverius. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow and sub to Laverius' channel. They're approaching 1.1K on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Laverius on Twitter. They're one follower away from 130. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird out, my friends. And of course, everywhere else featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel. Some love, baby. Let's get it. We might switch up our whole sound in a few months. Who knows? Right? Exactly. Like you never really know. Like it's a very random thing as an artist. You know. That's why I don't like to like. That's why I tell my team to like not to like stick to too many things. You know, like you don't want to like commit to something and then like change your mind like a couple months later. You know. You don't want to like define yourself as like a one genre artist and be like, no, I'm a hip hop artist, you know, because one day you might find some like alt rock shit and you know really like vibe on it. You know what I mean? Like that could happen. You know, it's very common. So that's why it's like good to like not box yourself in. You know, and plus you get better faster that way by like doing other shit that like is weird is like weird to you. You know, and like trying new stuff. You know, because you find out more shit about yourself as an artist. You know. What you like, what you don't like, shit like that. But yeah, you guys know the drill. All right, so that was all of our patrons for the night. Huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays patrons. Huge shout out to homie Laverius, Jordan, Kruger, Ryuki, King Mark, TDG, and everybody else that even has subbed in the past. You guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you. If you want any more information on the Music Mondays Patreon, patreon.com/music_Monday. And the link is in the description as well on the YouTube channel. So you guys know the deal, man. We're going to start from top to bottom and get right into our community submissions. So, first up is the homie Black Cash, a very talented hip hop artist, has submitted a track titled On the Go. What's up, my people? My new single is live on Spotify. Lock in, run it up, and add it to your playlist. Boss Life Music presents On the Go by Black Cash, produced by Made Beats, engineered by the homie Kid Cosmo. Kid Cosmo has been mixing Black Cash for quite some time. Quite some fucking time. But I'm excited, man. Black Cash has had real fucking heaters as of recently. It's been like a couple of weeks since I heard from Black Cash, but me and Black Cash have been working in the background on something special for the community. So stay tuned for that. But let's get into this, man. So let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see what the homie Black Cash has for us, man. Because their recent tracks have just been fucking nuts. I won't lie to you. You know, like even some of their like older submissions have just been insane. Like really insane. Well, let's see here. So April 14th, quite literally brand spanking new. This is only like a week old, literally let's get into it. Black Cash on the go.
Drop that bitch.
Oh shit. Oh man.
Making beats.
Looking for me? Yeah. I be in my lane on the go. I ain't got time for no sucker shit. You hating on the low. These bitches with it. I ain't going outside by no hoe. Every hour, minute, second, nigga, I be on the go. Yeah. I be in my lane on the go. I ain't got time for no sucker shit. You hating on the low. These bitches with it. I ain't going outside by no hoe. Every hour, minute, second, nigga, I be on the go. Worrying about mine, don't put no dollars in your pocket. Nigga, stop it. Bird ass niggas, I just let them keep watching. First they hate, then they imitate. Black Cash, a different artist. I lyrically came to renovate. Fool with a tool, screws missing. I'm a loose cannon. I get my hands on the side,
Holy
just like
shit.
some New Balance. Walk it like I talk it. Boy, I paid that price. Niggas, I have a whole loaf and be mad at your slice. Broke hoes, stole shade. Fuck niggas, don't hate. Don't associate with neither. I can never relate. Put my foot down on the gas, full throttle. Life ain't really promised, so I'm speeding to tomorrow. Money on my mind, dollars on my cranium. I'm trying to have the fans jumping out the gymnasium. Don't waste my time if your bars ain't proper. If your lyrics ain't sick, ain't no need to see the doctor. My grind don't stop, my hustle don't cease. If I can't get it out the booth, I'll get it out the streets. Step up in the studio and release my stress. Gonna get it off my chest. I can't afford to be depressed. I got people depending on me, and I just can't let them down. I refuse to join your circus. I ain't hanging with you clowns. They do it all for clout, just to keep they self-relevant. Long nose in the trunk, don't make me cock back this elephant. My name on that line, but these
Damn.
suckers ain't paying. I don't do this shit for fun. Motherfucker, I ain't playing. You can't meet the requirements, then that's your loss. I know my value and my worth. Come and chop with the boss. Looking for me? Yeah. I be in my lane on the go. I ain't got time for no sucker shit. You hating on the low. These bitches with it. I ain't going outside by no hoe. Every hour, minute, second, nigga, I be on the go. Looking for me? Yeah, I be in my lane on the go. I ain't got time for no sucker shit. You hating on the low. These bitches with it. I ain't going outside by no hoe. Every hour, minute, second, nigga, I be on the go.
That beat is really hard too. Man, that's what I mean. Black Cash never disappoints. Like, Black Cash, like, it's like insane to describe, but they're like a hit maker. Like, they know how to make fucking hits. Like that is like such a palatable, like, anybody could get behind that kind of track. You know what I mean? Like, anybody could like see like the vision on that. Like, that's like, it takes years to be able to get to this spot. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just spawn in this talented. I mean, some people do, but most people got to work for it. You know what I mean? And like, to be able to like write hooks like this and then like back it up with verses that are just as hard, you know, again, it takes some time, you know? It really does take time. And that's why I'm such a big fan of Black Cash is because, you know, their work is finely crafted. You know what I mean? Like, very finely crafted. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're going to talk about three things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of this track. So let's talk instrumental. A very solid, like, OG style trap beat, you know? Of course, very modern as well, but it kind of hits the nail on the head for, like, what Black Cash really, like, prefers to slide on. You know, because we've seen them kind of branch out with different types of instrumentals, but this is the style that they really can, like, this is their kind of bread and butter, so to speak, is what I would call it. And I like the choice, to be honest with you. I love the choice. The mix is great, though. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would, like, ultimately change on this. I mean, you know, produced by the homie Made Beats, and then it was mixed by the homie Cosmo. So, like, I mean, what can you say about the mix? You know, like, Black Cash has had a really solid mix since, like, the very first submission on the show. You know, so I'm not really shocked. And again, nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing that I would, like, ultimately change. Like I said, vocals sit nice. Drums cut through nicely. Nothing that I could see that I, like, really have, like, a true gripe with, to be honest with you. So, instrumental mix, very much on point. Instrumental Shining Star. Instrumental Shining Star. I kind of want to say the drums, to be honest with you. but the melody's up there too. I mean, yeah, the drums are really nuts though. The drums are definitely really fucking nuts. Yeah, let's go drums. Let's definitely go drums. I feel like structure's up there too, but I'm gonna go drums for this one. So, instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Again, much like the instrumental, vocal mix is very much on point. Like, very much on point. Nothing super, super clashy to overbearing. Nothing I would like really change on this one either. Black Cash has a really solid, like, natural voice, you know, so you don't really want to go too crazy with effects unless, you know, the artist really calls for it or, you know, you're doing a different style. But as far as this one goes, I definitely wouldn't change a thing. Absolutely no grabs to the vocals either. Levels are great. Everything cuts through nicely. Vocals sit nice, like I said. Nothing I would change. So, let's see here. Vocal mix very much on point. Vocal shining star. I do like the hook a lot. I feel like the hook was very catchy. But the writing in general was solid. You know, but the thing is too is like the flow and cadence in delivery for a Black Cash is like really nuts. Like really, really fucking nuts. Um hmm. For this one, let's go writing for this one. But I mean, you could kind of argue flow and cadence and delivery, but the writing on this one was just very firm. You know what I mean? It was a very firm writing style for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Now, perfect for a single. It almost has this like GTA kind of vibe to it, but like almost like American anime as well. Like it's a very specific style, but for a single, I feel like this is great. I mean, you have Boss Life Music Presents up top, On the Go right below it, Black Cash in the middle, and then Parental Advisory bottom left, and then the Black Cash artist name in the bottom right. I mean, like I said, kind of hits the nail on the head for a single, if I'm being completely honest with you. So, aesthetics definitely on point, and I like the color palette as well. Lots of tans. The money has like a very interesting green. That's why it kind of like reminds me of like anime almost. You know what I mean? But yeah, aesthetics definitely on point. Definitely on point. For a single. Hmm. Overall theme on the go. I mean, I feel like Black Cash kind of hit the nail on the head when it comes down to being on the go. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you are so busy and you're like actively chasing your goals, whether that be music or something else in life, you know, you are always on the go. But, you know, much like Black Cash discusses here, they don't have time for the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, no hater shit, no wasting time, none of that other shit. You know what I mean? And Black Cash is really talking about how they stay inside their own lane, but also like, you know, that's what happens naturally when you're chasing your goals. It's not like you make an active choice to like just stay in your own lane. I mean, yeah, you do, but you know, you have to stay in your own lane if you want to chase your own goals. You know what I mean? Like, because the only thing you should be laser focused on is your fucking goals. You know, so I feel like Black Cash does a really good job touching on that. You know what I mean? That's a very important topic, but Black Cash is able to kind of like share their experience with it and how they kind of deal with it. You know, so well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Homie Black Cash. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Black Cash on Spotify. And, of course, make sure you go follow Black Cash on Twitter. They are approaching 2.5K on the Bird app, my friends. And, of course, every hour is featured in today's episode, and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And, of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. That was a crazy ass submission from the homie Black Cash, man. W. All right. Up next would be the homie Jordan, but we already reacted to the homie Jordan earlier in the show because they are a Music Mondays Patreon. Make sure you go check out the beginning of the show and go show all the earlier submissions some love. Get it. So. Following Jordan, up next is the homie Most Dope Kimon. Now, this is an artist who's dropping like fucking crazy as of recently, and they've been going very, very, very fucking hard. Man, I get so excited for the Kimon submissions, man. But this week they submitted a official music video for "Talk to Nobody." Now, Kimon, a very talented hip hop artist, like I said, has been going crazy with not only the visuals but the singles and just absolutely dropping like a consistent motherfucker, man. But like I said, this week they submitted Talk to Nobody, the official music video. So let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got here from Nami. I'm down because all their music videos recently have just been fucking nuts, man. Absolutely fucking nuts. Let's see. No way. Okay. The comments are always so positive, man. Like, you can just tell that Kimon is like really gonna garner like such a very honest community, you know? But let's see here, man. Let's get into it. Full screen, 720, most up, Kimon, Talk to Nobody. Let's go. Slid. Absolutely slid, man. The way that Kimon is so comfortable on these instrumentals, man, it's so effortless. Like, it's so fucking effortless. You know, like you can just tell that they're just like, they just have this natural ability to just slide on instrumentals, you know? And like, again, sometimes you spawn in with that ability and like you're just born with it. Sometimes you gotta work for it. And sometimes people are also just like naturals over time as well. That's a very common thing. But Kimon just does so well in these instrumentals, man. What a video too, you know? What a video. I mean, a very chill kind of instrumental, to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of Kimon's music videos are very chill, but this one had a very like comfy vibe to it for some reason. Maybe it was like the black outfit, to be honest with you. Like it was just very comfortable for some reason, you know? But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the official music video for Talk to Nobody. So, let's talk instrumental. Again, Kimon is really like, they know what to do on these instrumentals, you know? Because I feel like some artists like want to do this style, but they don't know where to like start or like how to approach it or anything like that. You can tell that Kimon's a natural with this, you know? So I like the choice, you know, because they have a very specific flavor and like, you know, the instrumentals that they pick are very like, you know, dead set kind of thing, you know, so it's very important. But like I said, I like the choice. Let's talk mix though. Instrumental mix, per usual, always really solid, to be honest with you. But this one in particular, I like the drums on a lot. I feel like the 808 was great. I feel like, you know, Kimon really sat nice on this instrumental too. Like everything cut through nicely. Nothing that was like super off-putting or anything like that. You know, a lot of their instrumental mixes are really solid, you know, but something I always want to point out for anybody new, but definitely has a nice middle ground, you know. Levels are solid too, you know, so thinking back on it, no real gripes. So, instrumental mix solid. Instrumental Shining Star. Kind of crazy if you don't say the drums. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy if you don't say the drums. I mean, you kind of could say melody, I guess, right? But I kind of want to go drums here, if I'm being honest with you. I kind of want to go drums on this one for some reason. But melody's really solid too, though. Melody has a good like energy to it. Let's go drums. Let's go drums for this one, but melody's a close second for sure. So, instrumental solid, let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, much like the instrumental, very solid. I mean, Iman likes to have a like a certain amount of effects on their vocals, and like especially for the style, it sounds really solid. You know what I mean? So like it's like this perfect amount of post processing and engineering that like really fits Kimon's voice. You know, because again, a lot of these styles, you know, it takes time to kind of craft this. You know, it really does. So that's why I'm a big fan of this mix. And again, as far as like the sound and like the levels itself go, great. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice. You know, nothing to really gripe about, to be honest with you. So, vocal mix very much on point. Vocal Shining Star. I feel like Flow and Canes and delivery on this one was solid too, but I like the writing. I like the writing on this one just because it was very loose as well. But I kind of want to go Flow and Canes and delivery, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, let's go Flow and Canes and delivery for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk about the official music video for Talk to Nobody. So, man. So again, you know, Kimon's videos are such like they're such an inspiration, and they should be an inspiration for a lot of other artists to be able to like get their own videos done. You know, like you don't even really need a crazy team, you don't even really need a crazy camera, you definitely don't even need a crazy budget. But these videos here really show what an artist can do if they kind of put their mind to it, you know? And this is another one where Iman's kind of coming through and having a good time on camera. Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, they don't have to, like, have a crazy budget or go on set or get makeup done or, you know, get costumes done or anything like that. Like, this is, like, a true underground music video. And it's, like, one of those things where it's not only a great way to, like, showcase your music and, like, you know, have supporters, you know, kind of see you in a different light, but also you're kind of backing up your track in a way where it's just like, man, you don't see many artists kind of going out of the way to do visuals like this, but do this many of them. You know what I mean? Like, Kimon's dropping one at least like once a month, once a week, you know, sometimes multiple times a month, you know? That's how you know they really enjoy what they do. And that's what I really, really love about it. You know, like, Kimon always has funds in all their videos, you know what I mean? Like, they have a lot of fun, and it's one of those things where, you know, if you're not having fun with it, it's like super obvious, you know? It's like super obvious where like certain people just like, I don't know, like they're just stiff on camera, or you know, it's like a different kind of vibe, and I feel like Kimon does a really good job kind of matching the track's energy, but also kind of enjoying themselves as well. You know, I think enjoying yourself is like a big part of this, you know? So that's why I feel like they do such a good job with these, and like really just kind of, you know, you could spend a weekend and crank out like 6 videos if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, you really, really could. So, man, this is another one in the collection, much like Laveri's that we were talking about earlier, that like really has a like a chill vibe to it, you know? Like, Kimon's almost telling a story now through through like a lot of their music videos, you know what I mean? But the thing with this one too is like there's a lot of similar locations that we've seen before, right? But Kimon in a different outfit with a different track and like even like different angles, it makes for a whole new video. You know what I mean? So you could even shoot at the same spots like multiple times, right? And get like different clips that look entirely like a whole new vibe. And that's why I feel like they really kind of excelled at in this one was like, we've seen a few of these locations before, but the way it's filmed or the outfit or the song just makes it different, you know? So again, that's where like you can really make shit stretch as an artist, and like fewer resources doesn't always mean that you don't have enough, you know? Because like it's almost easier to make something insane with fewer resources, you know? Like it's almost easier. And that's what I feel like Kimon's doing, and it's really paying off, to be honest with you. It's really, really paying off. I mean, they slam the YouTube algorithm every time, you know, like their last couple of videos do really well for an independent artist, you know what I mean? Of this caliber, you know? So it's really, really sick to see. And you know, all in all, there's never going to be any negatives to filming music videos like this and kind of building yourself a library, you know? And it's just a great way to push your music in general, you know? We definitely need more of this, for sure. But Talk to Nobody official music video Shining Star. Probably the locations, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like for a nighttime video, these locations were great. Because, like, the fit really matched. But also, it's like, you know, it's just a very nighttime kind of song. So I feel like they went absolutely really, really hard with locations here. It does have that, like, Monday night kind of feel, you know? It definitely has that late night, you know, summer night kind of feel. But it's very, like, solo kind of song, too. Because, I mean, the song is Talk to Nobody, you know? So Kimon does, it does have that solo feel to it. So I'm going to go with the post-processing for sure, 100%. But, well done, my friend. Well done. Fucking fantastic. Huge shout out to the homie Most Dope Kimon. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go sub to Kimon's channel, man. They're dropping videos like crazy. They're only 5 subs away from 90, so make sure you go show them some love on the tube. And, of course, make sure you go follow Kimon on Twitter. They are 8 followers away from 20, so make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And, of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And, of course, per usual, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel, baby. Let's get it. He went crazy with the vid? No, I agree. I'm making him a B-pack at the moment. Let's fucking go. Ghost and Kimon is going to be crazy. That's a W collab for sure. Definitely a W collab, my friend. Okay. So, we left off with the homie Kimon. Up next is, speaking of devil, the homie Ghost. Ghost, a very multi-genre talented artist and producer, has submitted WWY. So we got a little bit of a Dropbox link here again, my friends. A little bit of a Dropbox unreleased from the homie Ghost, man. I am down. Let's see what we got. All right, so you guys know the drill. Let's pop it open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. All right. So, like I said, Ghost, a multi-genre talented producer, has submitted Where Was You featuring Rising Suns, first single from the project. Okay, so we get a little preview, little unreleased Music Mondays premiere. Let's get into it. Ghost, Where Was You featuring Rising Suns. Let's go.
Ghost.
What the fuck? Wow.
I'm smiling at it, I'm alright. I'm making you love just to hide that I'm dying inside. You can't hear the voices in my head. There's demons inside my bed. My past comes to hold me in the night. So tell me, is this fight or flight? So tell me, do you love me? Do you want me? Still up for the sunrise. These weeks to the time flies. My heart weeps that I won't cry. Please tell me, where was you when I had nowhere to go? Where was you? Where was you when I was all alone? I was alone. Where was you when I needed you? I needed you. Where was you evolving? Where was you? Oh yeah, love really isn't fair. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
What the fuck?
Just know, no one likes to be strong alone. Wish you.
Wow. 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 Jesus Christ. We're crazy this one. I agree. Fire Ice Combo, 100%. 100%. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it cuz this is fucking crazy. You never know what to expect from the homie Ghost, man. You never know what to expect. You really don't. You really don't. So, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So, we're going to talk about three things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of Where Was You? Never put me in a box. Hell no. Definitely not. Definitely not, my friend. Let's talk instrumental. I mean, the instrumental is just flawless, to be honest with you. Like, I love the mix on the instrumental. And sometimes with a lot of these alternative style tracks, you know, once you get vocals into the play and things like that, sometimes these can be a bitch to mix, you know? Like, sometimes it's very easy as well. Like, sometimes shit just lines up and your mix ends up just very crispy with minimal effort. But then there are those times where sometimes these, you know, mixes and these instrumentals can be a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? Like, certain styles can be really annoying, but this one came out extremely solid to me. I didn't notice anything off-putting or anything that I found that was, like, really a gripe to me. You know, sound selection was great. Melodies were great. Structure was great. Patterns were great. Nothing that I can even really think of that was even slightly off-putting, to be honest with you. I mean, Ghost has had a really solid mix. Much like I said with the Laveri's track for quite some time. So not really a shocker there. But again, something I always want to point out for anybody new, you know? So, instrumental mix is really flawless, for sure. Nothing I would, like, ultimately change on it at all. So, instrumental Shining Star. You know, the drums are up there. But the melody is just, whoa. You know, like, that guitar is fucking crazy. I kind of want to go melody. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think melody would probably be a decent choice. You know, because you could argue drums, but the melody is just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. Drums are a close second, but let's definitely go melody for sure. So, instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. My IRL friend who was a part of Rising Suns mixed it and co-produced this with me. We're also making another song that they'll drop at some point. Yeah, this is a fire duo. I definitely like this collab a lot. I definitely like this collab a lot. But much like the instrumental, the vocal mix is fantastic. Nothing like super clashy to overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately have a gripe with at all. You know, like I feel like the vocals are perfect for this style. You know, still very loud and melodic, but not like too overbearing or anything like that. Not really trying to do too much. I feel like the vocals are at a really solid point on this track. And again, levels are great. It's like a nice middle ground for the style, you know what I mean? So, vocal mix is very much on point. The electric guitar was him and a few other parts. Yeah, shout out to him, man. Shout out to fucking him. That's crazy. Wow. So, like I said, vocal mix very much on point. Nothing like super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing that would like ultimately change in the vocal mix. Vocal shining star. You know, So almost everything was really solid with the vocals here. I'm not gonna lie. Like, because like flow and cadence and delivery was great, writing was great, but I think the thing that like really took the cake here for me was probably the hook. I feel like the hook was insane, very catchy, very memorable. Replayability is insane, and just the way it was delivered was nuts, man. So I'm gonna have to go hook for this one, for sure. So instrumental solid. Definitely the melody. Vocal solid. Definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics, obviously unreleased, so no aesthetics to go over, but I'm sure Ghost will come up with a crazy ass cover for this project. He's talented as fuck. I agree. I sent a basic beat. He made it beat what it is now. Yeah, it's insane. He absolutely killed it. Oh my god, he definitely fucking killed it. Holy shit. The overall theme. A relatively obvious theme, I would say, right? Where was you? And you know, unfortunately, we all go through periods of time in life, right, where you know, you wish somebody could be there for you or was there for you when they weren't in a time of need. And I'm getting a heavy message from that from the Rising Suns and Ghost here when it comes to these lyrics and writing and the overall theme, right? And I feel like they do a good job kind of explaining how they feel about that topic and really how that affected them, right? Because, I mean, again, you know, a lot of us, if you haven't been there, you'll definitely eventually be there, you know, and you learn a hard lesson about people not being there for you, you know, especially friends, family, partners, whoever. And it's a very hard lesson, and I think once you learn that lesson, it makes you a bit bitter, but of course it makes you a bit smarter and wiser as well, right? And it makes it a lot easier for you to move in life. So again, a very interesting topic here, and I think everybody did a really good job kind of explaining how this affects them and how that makes them feel realistically, right? So well done, my friends. Well done. That was a fucking crazy track. Huge shout out to Homie Ghost and Rising Suns. Thank you so much for the submission, my friends. Much love. Make sure you go follow Ghost on Twitter as well. Ghost is only 11 followers away from 530, so make sure you go show him some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Well done, man. Well done. So many people heard it. Was always telling me to drop it for years. To drop it in the second of the month. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Cover art is simple but clean. I mean, you know how I feel about the simple cover arts, man. I've always been a fan of like real minimalistic stuff. You know. I mean, that's not to say I don't like the more complex stuff, but I just like the minimalist shit too. Right. Let's continue on, my friends. Let's continue on. So, let's see here. All right. We left off with the Homie Ghost. That was a fucking crazy ass submission. I was not expecting that whatsoever. Simple is clean. Yeah, no, I mean, I like both. You know what I mean? Like, I'm big on like what looks good, and like if the artist really enjoys it, then I don't really have any say in it. But sometimes the real minimalist shit can just hit different, you know, for some strange reason. Okay, so like I said, we left off with the homie Ghost. Up next is the homie Braden. Now, Braden, a multi-genre talented artist, has submitted a brand new track, man. I am down. Now, Braden is a Music Mondays veteran, but they've had a really solid 2025. They've been absolutely fucking killing it. Consistently dropping, lots of collabs, lots of projects. This has been a really solid year for Braden, to be honest with you. So, they submitted a track, and their caption was experimental phase. I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Well, not in a bad way, right? Because I always felt like Braden was very not experimental, but they had like a very solid variety, right? So that's the thing with Braden is they have a really wide variety. So I'm curious to what they consider experimental for them as an artist, right? I'm very very curious to see what Braden has here. Um, but like I said, Braden, a multi-genre talented artist, has submitted a track titled "Just Block Me." LOL. I'm down. Let's get into it. Braden, just block me. Let's go. Oh, for real experimental.
These hoes, they been steady watching. Shorty been popping, I see, I know that shit make her toxic. They like sheep, they flocking. Don't care if you hate, just block me. These bands I'm steady stocking. Since I clocked it, I've been popping. Bitches do not see the vision, I could change your life. I know that you are not making money, that's your major right. People turn to plastic, everybody's saying fake or us. You say you've been up, but I'm the one who's making paper right. Lately I've been tripping, I said fuck the sipping. Acting like we different, you ain't even listening. Got a pencil on me, it's glistening. He talk shit, then I'm bitching him. Like Mortal Kombat, I'ma finish him. I've been really making dividends, like we gon' have a good day, cause we been getting paid. Me and all my bitches slay. We gon' always make that bank. That bitch, what is your range? If you can't talk, you snake. Think I'ma hit the brakes. So file that, I walk it, then I talk it. These hoes, they been steady watching. Shorty been popping, I see, I know that shit make her toxic. They like sheep, they flocking. Don't care if you hate, just block me. These bands I'm steady stocking. Since I clocked it, I've been popping. Bitches do not see the vision, I could change your life. I know that you are not making money, that's your major right. People turn to plastic, everybody's saying fake or us. You say you been up, but I'm the one who's making paper right. Fuck, I've been getting to the riches. On my age, on my digits. Bitch, I've been on the stage, I've been winning. I've been with shorty in the back, we kissing. Treat that boy like cheese, I'ma Swiss him. I know that his buddies will not miss him. Bitch, I've been dipping, told her I'm fishing. You know what MF is, a man on a mission. Shit, fuck. God damn it.
God damn it. Yo, I really like that. I see what Braden meant by like experimental, right? Like the instrumental was very like unconventional, but Braden really kind of took that with stride, if I'm being honest with you. Braden fucking slid on that for a very like, out of the box instrumental. Braden did pretty fucking good with it, to be honest with you. Sounds like something. Yeah, no. I mean, you could definitely say that, Ghost. You could definitely say that. It's such an interesting instrumental, though. For sure, it is. For sure, but yeah, man. I see the vision. I mean, I kind of knew it'd be sick either way, but I was just curious as to like what Braden was really gonna go for, and I like it. I like it for sure. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. All right. Let's talk instrumental. Again, a very kind of unconventional experimental instrumental, and I feel like Braden did a really good job picking this, because like even though it is like experimental and like a little bit more like out of the ordinary, Braden wouldn't have picked it if they didn't like see a vision for it, and like didn't see themselves like actually sliding on it. So they did, So for that, I like the choice for sure. But mix. Let's talk instrumental mix. Solid, to be honest with you. Now I'm thinking about it. I mean, nothing like super clashy to overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on this, to be real with you. I feel like a lot of the smaller effects did a really good job, like adding a little bit of like an underwater feeling to this track, which I think was really solid. But yeah, no real gripes with the mix at all. Levels were good, drums were solid, vocals sat nice. Braden wasn't too loud on the instrumental. Nothing that was really like fighting for space. Braden usually has a very consistent mix anyways, so not really a shocker, but something I always want to point out for anybody new. So instrumental mix solid, instrumental shining star. I really like the melody here. It does have such like a underwater kind of like almost SpongeBob like feeling. It's a very interesting instrumental, but I kind of want to say melody. I'm not gonna lie. Instrumental's cool. He slid on it as well. I know. He did slide on it. He really did fucking slide on it. I was like, shit. Because Brayden has range, so I didn't really know what to expect with something like this. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the melodies here. Some of the melodies and the smaller effects in the instrumental really like gave it a very interesting energy for sure. So I'm gonna go melodies, 100%. Let's talk. Let's talk. Vocal mix. Again, Brayden has a very consistent vocal mix. To be honest with you, like truly, like no matter the style, um, you know, crisp, clean, clear, straight to the point. I mean, I have even heard vocals even be so much as like slightly loud. You know what I mean? Brayden has a very good lock on their instrumental and their instrumental mix and their vocal mix. So whoever does their engineering does a really good fucking job. I will say that for sure. So, vocal mix on this one very solid. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing that I thought was like really getting in the way of anything. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice. Yeah, definitely no gripes, to be real with you. So, vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. I kind of want to say flow and cadence and delivery. I mean, you could definitely like argue. You could argue writing here, but flow and cadence and delivery on an instrumental like this, man, it was just so comfortable and natural. I feel like Brayden just naturally slid on this. So I'm gonna go flow and cadence and delivery, but you could definitely argue writing for sure because I thought the writing was just as solid. Lots of very memorable bars in there as well. So let's go flow and cadence and delivery though. So instrumental solid. Definitely the melodies, vocal solid. Flow, cadence, delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Again, coming through with the the blue filter and the blue colorway, man. Again, Brayden's been on this blue kick and it's just super solid because like they don't even use like the same blue like all the time. I mean, even all these tracks were dropped in 2025, by the way, which is fucking crazy. We're only 4 months in, and Brayden's been spamming. You love to see that. Good for you, my friend. But yeah, the blue colorway for Brayden has been really solid because you can really use whatever you want for a cover, but also at the same time, it kind of gives like a little bit of like an identity. And like I always say, there's no rule that you have to do this or anything like that. But when you actually like end up looking at it and kind of seeing it through, I feel like it does look pretty sick. So aesthetics definitely on point. Got the little speaker setup here. I like that a lot, especially for a single, right? Nothing too crazy, but kind of hits the spot. Overall theme, just block me. I mean, Brayden coming through on some real like subliminal diss, some like straight up disses, but also kind of showing off their writing skills as well, right? Because Brayden's a very sophisticated writer when it comes to any type of style of dissing or like explaining how they feel or just like throwing shots at somebody. I feel like Brayden does a really good job with it, and again shows off their writing ability, while doing it. So they're very good at that. They're very, very good at that. But writing in general here, I mean, I feel like this is a really good showcase of like who Brayden is as an artist, because they can take an instrumental like this and just slide on it. The possibilities are fucking infinite now. You know what I mean? So, not one that I would dig too deep on a theme for, but this is definitely one where Brayden shows off their skill set and definitely one that I'd pay attention for the lyrics and bars 100% for sure, and just the writing in general. To be honest with you, so. Well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Brayden. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Brayden on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Brayden on Twitter. They are literally only 8 followers away from 10 followers. This is their new Twitter, so make sure you go show them some love in the bird out, my friends. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload, and of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it, my friends. Holy mackerel. All right, chat. We're about halfway through the show, so you guys know the drill. I want to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to need everybody to get up, go get some water, go take a smoke break, go make some ramen, get a snack, maybe bathroom break, walk a dog, anything like that. And when we return, we're going to dive right back into the rest of our community submissions, so don't go anywhere. Let's get it, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Music Mondays Podcast, episode 222. I hope you're well, hope you're chilling. But we're going to get right back into the rest of our community submissions. Alright, so. Let's see here, my friend. So up next, we got the homie Sin, aka Survival Activity. So we left off the homie Braden. Sin's coming through the track titled "Run This Town." Putting up one for my bro True Thoughts again from his latest project, A Beautiful Mess Part 2. Run This Town, record over Run This Town. Oh, so we got a little Run This Town remix. Okay. I'm down. Totally down for the cause. Alright, so for those of you that don't know, again, True Thoughts and Sin make up Rally for Reality. And Sin is throwing up a track for the homie True Thoughts, so I'm down, because we don't usually get to hear much of True Thoughts here on the Music Mondays podcast. So this will be solid. I'm down. True Thoughts, Run This Town, remix, let's go.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna do it. Say, I say, like that does not do anything for your verse. Yeah, I only ran shit when I was in the school. Kids always had some new kicks. Lucky them they wouldn't fit. So I would pick every pocket that I walked past. Middle school was so bad for students in my own class. Was a good dude, only up in math class. When I got bored fast, I was just a badass. I ain't really care to pass. Lucky me, I had a dad that would get my ass good every time a grade was bad. But that's the past, I'm the future, this is my day. I'ma celebrate like it's 1998. I'ma concentrate while y'all let it marinate. When I get a fan base, y'all will get release dates. Don't like pushback, so I'll just avoid that. Dealing with my contracts, lawyers in my contacts. Contact my lawyer stat, discover undercover crack. Rip it up, give it back, call me when you fix that. The game is grimy, they use you like a hooker. Depending on your timing, your gimmick is the look or the swag of another manufactured trash rapper. Snap dancing to the beat, talking about you from the street faker. That's why I always try to keep my focus. Superior motives, know my music you will notice. I'm shooting when you notice. My melancholy motives, provoking with the notion of knowing how hard I'm going. That's why I keep going, running at my own pace. Give you taste after taste until you take the cake. Then you take a break, find a chef that you should thank. Take a shake his hand, then you thanking for the masterpiece. You're welcome.
That beat is so hard, bro. That is such a classic. I think True did it justice, to be honest with you. Hope to hear them on this beat. Yeah, I agree on Wonka. I agree. Classic mixtape vibes for sure. For sure. Such a classic beat, man. I remember when that song dropped, man. I had to be like in middle school, bro. I was probably like, man, I had to be like 14 or like 15 or maybe 13, some shit like that. But what a classic. What a fucking classic. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's break it down. So, we're going to talk about three things here. Talk about the instrumental. We'll talk about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of Run This Town. So, let's talk instrumental. Quite literally an obvious instrumental here, right? If you haven't heard this song, then you most definitely live under a rock. So I like I like the choice to begin with, to be honest with you. I mean, such a classic, and just to be able to like have your skill up to a point where, you know, you as an artist can like actually throw a couple verses on this is probably a really awesome feeling for sure. So I love the choice off rip, definitely. Instrumental mix. I mean, it's quite literally in the pudding. I mean, it's such a classic that what can you say about the mix, right? Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. I feel like True definitely sounds solid on it, though. I mean, despite it being a remix, you know, sometimes if you're putting new vocals on it, you know, some adjusting does have to happen, you know. So with that being said, the mix is solid, though, you know. So nothing super clashy, too overbearing, anything like that. The vocals sat nice on it for sure. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental Shining Star. I mean, it's got to be. Oh man, like the whole instrumental is a shining star, right? But I like the drums on it, but the melodies, I think the melodies kind of clear here for me at least. You know, it's so hard to pick apart a classic like this, but I I'd say melodies for sure. I'd say melodies, 100%. So, instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again. True Thoughts, fantastic vocal mix. I mean, anytime we hear True Thoughts on Rally for Reality or even some of their solo shit, their vocal mix, much like Sin and a few other artists here on the Music Mondays podcast, have a very consistent vocal mix, and this is definitely in that crew for sure. So, again, vocals super solid, crisp, clean, clear, straight to the point. Levels are great. Nothing that would ultimately change on the vocals at all, to be honest with you. I mean, especially for something like this, you just want to make sure you're not too low or too loud or anything like that. But I feel like the vocals were definitely in a nice spot for this for sure. So, vocal mix very solid. Vocal shining star. I do like the flow and cadence and delivery. I feel like the flow and cadence and delivery was really solid on this. But the writing was up there too. Let's go flow and cadence and delivery. Flow and cadence and delivery for sure, just because I thought True absolutely fucking demolished this. But writing is probably a close second though. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid. Flow, cadence, delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. So this is from True Thoughts Project, Beautiful Mess Part 2. And I've reacted a little bit to this cover before, but you have text up top, you have True Thoughts top right, you have True Thoughts actual like photo in the middle, and then a Beautiful Mess Part 2 bottom right, and then a red parental advisory bottom left. I mean, for a project, absolutely fantastic, especially for like something like an EP or something like that. I feel like this definitely hit the mark for sure. Simple, but again, straight to the point. I wouldn't like ultimately change anything about this, to be honest with you. Again, it definitely has like full project kind of vibes for sure. So, aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, I wouldn't really look for an overall theme here. Again, this is a Run This Town remix, right? So, with that said, I do feel like True kind of laid out their writing ability and their skill set on this track as well too. So it's definitely one of those songs where you just gotta appreciate True's skill and their lyrical and writing ability for sure. So well done, my friend. Well done. So with that said, a huge shout out to the homie Sin and True Thoughts. Make sure you go follow True on SoundCloud. They are only 4 followers away from 30, so make sure you go show them some love in the cloud. And of course, make sure you go follow Sin on Twitter. They're only 3 followers away from 480. Make sure you go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. Whole song goes hard. I agree, Ghost. That was a W. I mean, you know, those like classic remixes like that are always a good time, to be honest with you. Let's see here. So up next we got the homie Mavs, aka P Mavarez, and they submitted a track titled Trapafornia Trap Underground Mavs. Huh. No way. Help me by listening to my new album Trapafornia, a trap in some bars you never heard. An interesting translation. It's been a while since we heard from the homie Mavs, though. I don't think we've heard from them since like last year, to be honest with you. But let's see what they sent in here, because obviously we don't have time for a full project, but we do have time for a single here. Yeah, it's definitely been a while since we heard from Mavs, huh? Wow. Lots of love in the comments too. Okay. Yeah, lots of love in the comments. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while since you heard from the homie Mavs, man. I'm down. I'm definitely down. Trapfonia Trap Underground by the homie Maz, and it looks like we have an official music video as well. All right, I'm down. Let's get into it. Shoulder bag goes hard.
Volado en un corbete, miedo a Nani, a la muerte, burlado el club de los 27, rompiendo récord CR7. Parezco un casino triple 7, la vida me tira solo verdes, con la baby un con mi vete, siempre la carta puro filete. Lord of Class sin ser París, siempre apuesto a mí, todo el coro salve el deal, flow like action, run full beat. No eres lo que dice, eres lo que hace, me mantengo frío, pase lo que pase, robándome 3 pases. pases no me sacan de balance. Y esto no se aprende, con esto se nace. El caballo de Ferrari, más horsepower que un Bugatti. Rompiendo pista como Dari, rafagazo legendary. Esto es una utopía, dime tú quién lo diría. El Max haciendo real, lo que dijo aquel día. No me vengan con nostalgia que debí tirar más fotos. No estoy en amores, pero sí estoy pa' los totos. A lo imposible miro a los ojos, el destino es a mi antojo. Y como Usain Bolt, solo me gusta el oro. Aquí llueve en las botellas, en su vestido está mi huella. No da beso a la primera pa' ocultar que es una B. Rápido se lo puso y rápido se vino. Ya sé lo que quiere y no soy adivino. Tetas adictivas parecen fentanilo. Voy directo a Rusia, por el medio es el camino. Esto es una utopía, dime tú quién lo diría. El Max haciendo real, lo que dijo aquel día. El caballo de Ferrari, más horsepower que un Bugatti. Rompiendo pista como Dari, rafagazo legendary. High skill claim Messi, yo siempre he sido así. On Royal 50 kills, I am a fucking pimp. Hablo sin fantamear, no como James con los char. Suena la trafonía y tienen que escuchar que desde el 9-6 yo vivo por mi ley. ¿Quieres dinero? Ok, apuéstame el parlay. No paramos como un rocket, lleno están los pockets. Todas las combis son origi de full locker. Rapeando muy bonito, si yo gano el puja. Si tú hablas mucho, fácil te la busca. Siempre ready pa' no terminar como Tupac. Tocarme a mí, sí, ja, ni pa'l putas. Desde que salí fue joseando en los
Yo, this
free.
fool went in. Holy shit.
Infeliz, pues el lápiz más cabrón que en tu vida vas a oír. Ya está claro en los temas que este es más baby. Jaja, no hay más que decir. El lápiz
Wow.
prendido en fuego, hijo de puta. El más duro en esto. Nos fuimos.
Holy shit. That was like non-stop for 2+ minutes. That was nuts. That was really, really nuts. Mavs fucking destroyed that. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, to be honest with you, bro, I don't think we've heard from Mavs in quite some time. I'm trying to remember. I'm kind of curious on the last track that we reacted to. Gotta be on their Spotify, but it's definitely not on their YouTube. But regardless, man, that was fucking nuts. Mavs literally slid on that for like 2+ minutes. Holy shit. That's insane. Yeah, that was definitely fucking insane. Holy fuck. Wow. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, shit. We're going to talk about 3 things here. So, we're going to talk about the instrumental. We're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the official music video for Trap Underground Traphonia. So, let's talk instrumental. So, a very like staple trap instrumental for sure. Very modern as well. Has all the elements and ticks all the boxes of everything you'd want in a trap instrumental. You know what I mean? So I like the choice 100%. Sick video placements as well. I agree for sure. Completely agree. So again, like I said, I like the choice a lot out of Mavs for sure. So let's talk mix. The mix was stellar, actually. The mix was very, very crisp, clean, clear. Nothing that I would ultimately change about the instrumental at all, to be honest with you. I feel like the mix was actually very, very on point. Sound selection was great, drums were great. Nothing that I would like ultimately want to switch on this instrumental. The drums itself really just come to mind first, to be honest with you. The drums are just fucking nuts to be so real with you. But the instrumental itself, great mix. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing that I would like ultimately change at all. So, instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. You could argue melodies here, but the drums are such a big play here. The patterns, the sound selection. You'd be crazy not to go drums, to be honest with you. So, let's go drums here for sure. But you could definitely argue for the melodies, definitely. But drums clear. Instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, again, just like the instrumental, very crisp, very, very crisp. Again, you know, like I said, it's been a while since we heard from the homie Mavs, so it's like one of those things where, you know, you never really know like where an artist is going to end up after not hearing from them in quite some time, right? But I do feel like Mavs kind of locked in and really like made sure that these vocals on this track were like very on point. You know, like very, very on point. So this vocal mix here, you could tell that there was some elbow grease behind it for sure. But vocal mix, very solid. Very, very solid for sure. And again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on this. Like I said, drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice. Nothing that really comes to mind that I really have a gripe with, to be real with you. So, vocal mix on point. Vocal shining star. I kind of want to go flow and cadence and delivery, to be honest with you. I kind of want to go flow and cadence and delivery. I mean, we can't dissect the writing too much, right? But I'd say flow and cadence and delivery, especially for over 2 minutes. That's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like for over 2 minutes, holy shit. So flow and cadence and delivery for sure. So instrumental solid, vocal solid. Let's talk about the official music video. So, like Ghost and Onwuka said in the chat, I love the locations. The director and the editors absolutely fucking killed this. You know, this video is comprised of probably like 3 or 4 locations, but the splits and the cuts and the clips make for a fun watch. You know what I mean? Make for a really, really fun watch. And this is why you only need like a really good cameraman, bro, and like you don't need a crazy budget. Much like I was saying with Kimon, like, you know, filming videos like this is like super, super easy, and like if you have a good like creative vision for it, you can really make shit come to life, you know, because this looks, you know, like really, really insane, like as far as quality and as far as like, you know, locations go, but, you know, it's still a very DIY video, you know, so that's what's so sick about it, you know, because it comes out really fucking nice. But yeah, I would say Shining Star here. I mean, the post-processing and the editing is solid, but it's not like doing too much where it takes away from the video, which is nice. Like a lot of the cuts and the pans and the transitions are nice. But I'd have to say the Shining Star is probably the locations. I agree. I definitely feel like the locations really made this video. From like that stair shot to the gas station shot. And like that like abandoned building shot, yeah. I'm gonna have to say locations. I feel like locations really kind of put this one over the edge for sure. Yeah, I mean it's not often you see videos like this that are like this well done, you know what I mean? But also like using like minimal locations, you know, and really like making the most of it. So well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to homie Mavs. Make sure you go sub to Mavs' channel. They are literally 3 subs now that we're subbed to them, away from 110 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you go sub to their channel, man. And of course, make sure you go follow Mavs on Twitter. They are only 9 followers away from 690. Make sure you go show Mavs some motherfucking love on the bird app, my friends. Let's get it. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you guys dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good jazz. Much, much love. All right. So, we left off with the homie Mavs. Up next is Emily Thorsby, a very talented multi-genre artist, has submitted a track titled "Amazing as Hell." It's been like a month or so since we heard from the homie Emily, but they've had a really solid 2025 from what I can remember. A couple really good singles. We've gotten to react to them once here on the show, so I'm down. Let's go see what Emily has been up to. They actually submitted the SoundCloud version. I'm down. I believe they usually always submit Spotify links. Oh, so we got a little background here on the track. I like that. You don't see that too often. Okay, I'm down. Let's get into it. Emily Thorsby, Amazing as Hell. Let's go.
Saw how you looked at me. You're the one that always judged me. We don't have to be agreed, but still choose to test me. When I show the best of me, still treat me
I got no apologies. So what the hell does it all mean? So what the hell does it all mean? So what the hell with all those rules? Nothing wrong when different pair of shoes. Let them talk, let them scream. If you ask, I'm on the right. So what the hell with all those rules? Nothing wrong when different pair of shoes. Let them talk, let them scream. If you ask, I'm on the right. I'm sorry for being amazing as hell. Not sorry for being the one to tell. I don't care what you have to say. You got run my day when I'm out to cast my spell. Not sorry for being the one to tell. Not sorry for being the one to tell. Another day,
Okay.
no fight to fight. When the world feels small, not give up my pride. Call me crazy, call me blazy, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not stopping to a reason else, on it is my goal. So what the hell does it all mean? So what the hell does it all mean? So what the hell with all those rules? Nothing wrong when different pair of shoes. Let them talk, let them scream. If you ask, I'm on the right. So what the hell with all those rules? Nothing wrong when different pair of shoes.
Catchy.
Let them talk, let them scream. If you ask, I'm on the right. I'm sorry for being amazing as hell. Not sorry for being the one to tell. I don't care what you have to say. You got run my day when I'm out to cast my spell. Not sorry for being the one to tell. Not sorry for being the one to tell.
That guitar is pretty nasty, I won't lie. That's a really, really insane instrumental too. Great outro. Wow. Wow. Amazing as hell a G title too. I agree. Amazing as hell. Sick dramatic build at the start. Yep. Totally agree there too. Totally agree. What a track, man. And you know, I just noticed that this clocked in at 3:44. That did not feel like an almost 4-minute song. I'm not gonna lie to you, it did not feel like a 4-minute song. That's how you know tracks are like really well crafted in structure. Is because like 4-minute songs these days in 2025 can feel like 4-minute songs. You know what I mean? But this one didn't at all. The guitar goes hard. No, I agree, Goes. I agree. The guitar absolutely went crazy. Okay, so you guys know the drill. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Amazing as Hell. So, instrumental, fantastic. I'm huge on this instrumental. But the mix is even better. Crisp, clean, clear, straight to the point. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing that I would ultimately change on this at all. I feel like Emily really sounds solid on this, and even the sound selection on the instrumental is great. The structure's great, much like Ghost mentioned. The guitar is fucking amazing. Yeah, I mean, thinking back on it, I mean, in terms of the vocals and like how everything sounds, yeah, no, definitely no gripes with the mix at all. I mean, usually Emily has a pretty solid vocal and instrumental mix, and just their tracks in general are usually pretty tight. So, not really a shocker there, but something I always want to point out, right? So mix is very solid for where it's at. Instrumental shining star. I kind of want to say structure. just because of how everything's placed, the vocals, where the drums come in, where the guitar comes in. I think I am gonna say structure. To be honest with you, it's just so thoughtfully structured out that I feel like it's like really makes the song, you know. So definitely the structure for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, very very solid. Emily has a really solid natural singing voice and just voice in general, right? So this isn't one that you want to like drown in effects unless the song calls for it or unless the artist kind of wants to go that direction, right? So again, crisp, clean, levels are solid. Um, Not too dry, but not too like super over the top either. I feel like they definitely did a good job with her vocal mix for sure, 100%. Like I said, nothing like super super clashy to overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on this at all. And I definitely feel like drums cut through nicely for sure. So vocal mix very much on point. Vocal shining star. Uh Probably flow and cadence and delivery. I mean, the hook was so catchy. The hook in general was very catchy, but the flow and cadence and delivery of the whole track in itself was very on point. Very on point. I feel like Emily really performed this well. So I'm gonna go flow and cadence and delivery, but you could kind of make a case for the hook too, you know. So instrumental solid, definitely structure, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics, amazing as hell. Simple, straight to the point, and it has one of those like mobile versions, right? Like this like doubles up as like a 1080 by 1080 version, but also like the mobile version, right? Looks really solid as well. Emily Thorsby bottom mid, amazing as hell bottom mid, and Emily picture in the middle, right? Simple but straight to the point. And you guys know how I feel about those IRL photos as well. If you want to go ahead and use an IRL photo for a cover, or you just don't really like want to go crazy with art, those IRL covers always go really well if you do it right. You know what I mean? So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, I feel like Emily really explains it pretty well here. Um, she has a somewhat lengthy description here, but a kind of a self confidence theme here. Reminding yourself that you are a gem. You know what I mean? Like realistically, the short version of it is you know, there's only one of you. So despite not feeling good enough for friendships or relationships or whatever kind of kills your confidence, you always got to remember that there's always one you. Like nobody can think like you, nobody can pull ideas from your head like you, nobody can create music like you, nobody can do what you can do. There's only one Zom, there's only one Emily, there's only one Ghost, there's only one Onwuka. You know what I mean? Like, so that's like one of those things where it comes to your confidence. Like you always got to remember that like you're a very rare person. You know what I mean? Because you are a one of one. Very limited edition. So um, definitely important theme here to keep in mind. And I feel like it's good that artists kind of recognize that within themselves and are able to kind of like put that in their music as a way to almost like you know have a little bit of therapeutic relief. You know what I mean? So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to homie Emily Thorsby. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They're only they're only 9 followers away from 10. We are actually their first followers. Make sure you go follow Emily on SoundCloud, man. That's their brand new account. And of course, make sure you go follow Emily on Twitter. They're approaching 1.2K on the Bird app, so make sure you go show them some love over there. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 3 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Get it. Alrighty, my friends, we left off with the homie Emily Thorsby. Up next is the homie Saint Zero, a multi-genre talented artist. Saint Zero has submitted All I Want to Do official lyric video. Going crazy with the lyric videos tonight, man. But it's been a couple months since we heard from the homie Saint Zero, so I'm down. Let's get into it. All right. Give it a quick little pause. Go 720. Performance by Saint Zero, written by Saint Zero, produced by Saint Zero, and mastered by Saint Zero. Video edited by Saint Zero. Let's go, Saint Zero, man. Fully in-house here with the All I Want to Do lyric video, man. Love that. Love that. Got the little in the comments. I'll toss Saint Zero thumbs up there. All right, let's get into it. Saint Zero, All I Want to Do official lyric video. Let's go. Hmm. Real. Well done. Hmm. The ad libs. Hmm. Well done. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was a journey and a half. That was a journey and a half, man. Vibey, yeah, Vibey Cruise Track. That's a really good way to put it. Vibey Cruise Track. I agree. I agree. Perfect for just lyrics and shit, just creeping. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we are going to talk about three things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental. We're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the official lyric video for All I Want to Do. So, let's talk instrumental, produced by the homie Saint Zero, and it's fantastic. I feel like Saint Zero really nailed that like good dance hall, dance like all pop, almost like R&B kind of vibe here. So the production was great. Mm, the mix is solid, to be honest with you. I mean, for where it's at, nothing like super super clashy, nothing like too overbearing. Nothing that I can like really grip about. You know what I mean? Like, for where it's at right now, I feel like it's solid. Like I said, nothing like super clashy to overbearing. Vocals definitely sit nice on this one. Um, Everything's nice and loud, but not like too loud. I feel like levels were solid on this. Like I said, for where it's at, I think it's decent for sure. So, um, instrumental mix is definitely solid for sure. Instrumental Shining Star. Hmm. I might have to go structure again on this one. Melodies were nice, but I noticed like where things were coming in and things were leaving and things were dropping off, and then the instrumental would come back in. feel like Saint Zero really had a good hand on the structure here. So I do feel like structure was very much on point, and Saint did a good job kind of laying this out. So, uh, yeah, let's go structure for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, very solid. I think Saint has a really solid natural voice, right? So when they get kind of, do styles that really call for like a different style of mixing, or even just are a little bit more melodic, or Saint Zero kind of brings out their like singing side. I feel like their mixing kind of matches that. There's a few artists on here that kind of mix around whatever style they're doing, and they don't really stick to like one type of vocal style, right? So I feel like Saint does a good job kind of molding their vocal mix around this instrumental, and having it match up really well. So vocal mix for where it's at, definitely solid. Nothing super super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would like again really take out on this one. Drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice in the instrumental. What more can you ask for, right? So vocal mix, very very solid. Vocal shining star. I feel like the hook was very catchy. Not only was it catchy, it was very meaningful too. The whole song was very meaningful, but I feel like the hook kind of like sends it all home as like a nice cherry on top, So let's go with the hook for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk about the official lyric video for All I Want to Do. So we've had quite our fair share of lyric videos here on the Music Mondays podcast, but only a few artists can kind of make them like this, and like put out lyric videos like this that are very engaging visually, because it's not like there's like a whole crazy amount of clips to edit here, but the way that the lyrics are posted and the way that Saint Zero edited this, it makes it very very engaging, right? Like any normal viewer or listener is gonna stay engaged with this, just because of the way the lyrics pop on screen, the variety of clips where clips come in and go out. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's one of those more engaging lyric videos, and we see those from time and from time to time, but it's not often you see people actually like go all out for their lyric videos. Like even just like the small stuff with the ad libs, and then like having like the highlight kind of like follow the certain lines and lyrics, like small shit like that really makes the world a difference, to be honest with you. So shining star here for the official lyric video is definitely the editing for sure. I'd say more specifically the way that the lyrics are edited, 100%. Because again, very engaging, and keeps the viewer entertained, while they're kind of absorbing your song. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Saint Zero. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go sub to Saint Zero's channel on YouTube. They're only 4 subs away from 70. Make sure you go show them some love on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Saint Zero on Twitter. They're approaching 1.9K on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of YouTube. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it, my friends. All right, so we left off with the homie Saint Zero, and up next is the homie Ghost Candy. Now, it's been a while since we heard from Ghost Candy, man. Ghost Candy is a Music Mondays podcast OG. I think they've been submitting to the show for like over 3 years. I want to say since like 2022 or something. But Ghost Candy is a very talented multi-genre producer, and they submitted a track titled Close the Windows, and their caption is, "A long time no see, old friend. Welcome back on the show, Ghost. I hope you've been well. I hope you've been extremely well." But let's go see what the homie Ghost has been up to, man. I'm excited. Like I said, Ghost, a multi-genre talented producer, has been away for a bit, but now they're back. And we got some lyrics and description and shit. Oh, no way. We're actually getting some vocals here from the homie Ghost. I'm down. All right, let's get into it. Ghost Candy, Close the Windows. Let's go.
It was a lie from the beginning.
Oh, shit.
They don't understand your meaning. The last you checked, it was all singing.
Wow. That was crazy. That was actually fucking crazy. Some other prods name Ghost. Yeah, yeah, there's quite a few ghosts. Well, at least we have the homie Ghost Candy over here. But crazy interstellar indie jam. Yeah, man, Ghost has such a unique style, bro. Like Ghost has such a fucking unique style, and this is kind of very interesting. I didn't know what to expect with vocals because I know Ghost has like a pretty you know big variety when it comes to their vocal ability. So I didn't really know what to expect after like I don't know. I don't think we've heard from Ghost in shit over 7 to 8 months or something like that. But well done, well done. A very unique first track back. I'm down. Um, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talk about vocals, and we're talk about the overall theme of "Close the Windows." So let's talk instrumental. So self proud, I'm assuming, right? And Ghost has had such a knack to really make such unique instrumentals, but also kind of like keep it very simple as well, right? They don't like to go too crazy into the experimental areas, but at the same time they do. They definitely do. So that's one of those things where they found this fine line of like a gray area of like experimental shit, but also like sticking to the books and like kind of blending those two styles together, right? So instrumental mix here, really solid to be honest with you. Now that I'm thinking about it, nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing that would ultimately change on this one. All the sounds complement each other. Patterns were good. Vocals sat nice. Drums cut through nicely. Yeah, nothing ultimately to have like too much of a gripe about. You know what I mean? So, um, instrumental mix very solid. Instrumental shining star. Mm. Drums were up there for me, but I gotta go with the melodies. The melodies are so like Ghost Candy vibes. You know what I mean? It's just such a Ghost Candy kind of instrumental. So, um, let's go melodies, but I feel like structure or drums are a close second. But let's go melodies for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. A very interesting vocal mix, to be honest with you. It's very eerie. It's almost somewhat creepy. You know what I mean? I feel like the vocal mix was almost a little bit fucking scary. It felt like a chant almost, or you know, it was very eerie. But whether that was intended or not, I'm not sure. But it definitely felt eerie. And I thought that was very interesting. It was Ghost delivery on it. It was very Ghost like, if you will. No pun intended. But the mix on the vocals itself though, great. I mean, levels were solid, decent amount of effects. I feel like the reverb was like a big key here. I feel like the reverb was really solid on this. And again, nothing super clashy, too overbearing that I would like really change. Like I said, the levels were solid, so it definitely hit like a solid sweet spot on the instrumental. So vocal mix definitely solid for where it's at. Vocal shining star. Mm, Probably the writing. I feel like the writing added to the mystery of the delivery and the mix. So you put all that together, it gives you a very eerie kind of feeling, right? Um, so let's go writing for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. I love the aesthetics on this. This blown over tree with the sign here is like such a great return photo for Ghost. I feel like Ghost really like does well with their aesthetics, especially for some of their past instrumental projects. So I like this for a quick return single. I like this a lot. Um, so for me, aesthetics definitely on point. Uh, Overall theme. Mm, Again, it's a bit eerie, and then even now knowing that the lyrics are what they are, and then close the windows, it does really feel like a Ghost kind of song. That saying of like when a person dies in your crib or something, you're supposed to like open up the window to like let the spirit out and shit. Um, it reminds me of some shit like that. It really does. It has a very eerie feeling to it, and Ghost was always really good at that though. Especially Anuka using the term interstellar. I feel like Ghost does a really good job kind of making these like otherworldly kind of tracks. So um Well done, my friends. Well done. With that said, a huge shout out to the homie Ghost. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Glad to see you back. I hope everything's well. Make sure you go sub to Ghost channel, though. They're only 9 subs away from 60. And of course, make sure you go follow Ghost on Twitter. They are quite literally 4 followers away from 50. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. Let's get it, baby. Alright, my friend. Up next, we got the homie Fonzie. It's been a while since we heard from the homie Fonzie, man. It's been a couple months. Fonzie, a very talented hip-hop artist, has submitted One More Night. Let's go see what Fonzie has been up to, my friends. I'm down. I'm down for the cause. Alright. Let's crank it to 720. Full volume. It looks like we got a feature here. Featured artist Fonzie. Oh, we got a little feature here from the homie Fonzie. Alright, I'm down. Let's get into it. One More Night. Ooh.
How you gonna turn these L's to a W? Fell in something whenever I look at you, but we ain't falling. Rising up, that's our calling car. That's what loving do. Let me cook for you. It's one of the ways I can show it. I just hope I don't blow it.
Wow.
I feel your
Beat is so good too. Well done. What a duo. Very dynamic. Yeah, I agree on Lucas. Soothing ass vocals, I agree. That was like the definition of like some real underground R&B right there. For sure. That was like the pure definition of it. Wow, well done. Shout out to homie Fonzie. Shout out to homie Shyla, man. Let's go. Shyla Squire. I like that name. Wow. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. Relatively obvious theme, but we're still gonna break it down for you. So, we're talking about the instrumental first. I love the choice for something like this, and I feel like Shyla really killed it with her melodic vocals on this. But the mix itself was fantastic, especially when the 808 came in. Like it really set the tone for how well this was mixed. So absolutely zero gripes on the mix. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that would like ultimately change on this mix at all. I feel like everybody sounded great on it. Sound selection was great. Levels were great. I mean, no complaints at all. You know what I mean? Definitely no gripes in the instrumental mix whatsoever. Instrumental shining star though, probably the drums. You know, as much as I do want to say the melody and like how much the melody actually set the tone, listening to the hats and just the percussion in general, and then when the 808 comes in, it's perfect, man. It's perfect. Those are some real good R&B drums, man. So I have to go drums, but you know, you really could kind of make a case for the melody, but I'm gonna go drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Man, oh man, oh man. No gripes at all, to be honest with you. I think Shyla and Fonzie sounded really good on this. Crisp, clean, clear. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sat nice on the instrumental. Nobody was like too loud or anything like that. They sounded good together. Yeah, definitely no gripes on the vocal mix at all. This is probably one of the cleanest mixes we've heard in quite some time, as far as like, you know, a whole track goes. You know. So vocal mix very solid, very much on point. Vocal shining star. Probably writing. I feel like writing from both of them was like very solid, very honest, very good like emotional kind of writing too. You know what I mean? It definitely hit that like emotional pillar. So yeah, let's go writing. Let's go writing. But I feel like flow and cadence and the delivery and overall performance is up there. But I'm gonna go writing lyrics for this one. So instrumental solid, definitely drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. I mean, I love pictures like this just because, like, you know, you have, you know, Shyla here in like the bottom middle, but like the majority of the picture is the view, right? We have plenty of space to like get some text on there, and then it says night, and then Shyla X Fonzie below, and then the prod credits bottom right. I mean, you know, covers like this for a track like this always work, you know. Very gray, and this track was very gray in feeling, you know what I mean? Gray in a good way though, not like gray, depressing gray, just rainy day kind of gray, you know. Think like Seattle or like New York kind of thing. But yeah, aesthetics very much on point for this. Very, very much on. So aesthetics solid. Overall theme, one more night. I mean, you know, we've all been there. We've all been there. And if you have not been there, you will eventually be there. You know, meaning that, you know, sometimes you meet partners in life and, you know, it's like that honeymoon phase where like you just want to keep spending time with the person, right? And like you spend a night with somebody and then you're like, you know, you don't want them to leave, and then, you know, you start questioning, you know, is it love or lust? And, you know, a lot of these topics are discussed in this track, and I feel like both Shyla and Fonzie do a really good job telling their perspectives on, you know, needing another night or wanting another night with a person, or kind of going down that road. You know what I mean? So I feel like they did a good job with that, and did a good job explaining it as well. So well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Fonzie and Shyla. Make sure you go sub to Shyla on YouTube like we just did. Now, there are only 5 subs away from 10, so make sure you go show them some love on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Fonzie on Twitter. They are only 3 followers away from 920, so make sure you go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. And huge shout out to everybody that already has loved the channel. You guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much, much love, my friends. Let's see here. So we left off with the homie Fonzie. Up next is the homie Offspring Mysterious. Now, Offspring, a multi-talented artist, writer, designer, producer, editor, videographer, all the above. Offspring Mysterious is back with another YouTube upload titled Hunt and Kill. You know, as of lately, Offspring's uploads have been really, really on point. So I'm definitely excited to see what the homie Offspring has for us this week on the Music Mondays podcast. Get into it. All right. Let's go 720. Let's go full volume. 10 days ago, so super, super new. Let's get into it. Offspring Mysterious, Hunt and Kill. Fitted up. Look at the fit. Straight fitted up. Offspring recording the cold. Name a better duo. Literally. What's good, Offspring? I hope you're well. Happy Monday, my friend. Welcome on in. And yeah, no, you've been filming in the cold since we've known you. Since your first submission on Music Mondays, for sure. Oh, baby can't handle the cold. Are always tough as the videos. I agree. Offspring had that shit on. No shit. It's like me, bro. Oh shit. A lot of the wide shots are great. fire. It came out solid. Oh shit. Whoa. Sick as hell with it. I agree. I agree. Yeah, back to the spot. Oh my god. That was fucking disturbing. Holy shit. I think it's more dangerous than the lust of power. I'd have to agree, my friend. I'd have to agree. That was one of the most entertaining ones from Offspring that we've seen in quite some time. That we've seen in quite some well fucking done. Like really, really well done. I like this one a lot. I like this one a whole lot. You know, at first I was gonna say locations are probably the shining star here, but I'd have to say the shining star of this edit, man, has to be the stop motion. The stop motion was so well built up, you know, because I think we spend what, like the first couple minutes of the video kind of building it. Starts to build up until about 4 minutes. And then once we hit like the 4 minute mark, they throw down not even like a minute later. And like the way that the stop motion was edited here, it wasn't just like regular stop motion. The exposure on the sky, the exposure on the trees, like changing the location of the battles, I think was really sick. That was like a really solid and nice touch here. Like I said, the locations were probably going to be my shining star, but the way that Offspring edited the stop motion here, you could tell like a lot of time went into this, and it was really well thought out, because even the exposure on like the location is just really well done. You know what I mean? Like changing the environment to tell like how much of a serious fight this was. You know, that was definitely the shining star here for me, for sure. And then like the way it closed out, and then like Offspring scaring the shit out of you at the end is fucking insane. But yeah, no, shining star definitely the stop motion, but locations are a close second, just because like a lot of the wider angles were crazy too. Like there's a big wide angle here. I thought a few of these shots were nuts. This one in particular, I thought was really solid. This shot here, and then this shot I thought was great. Like a lot of these like wider shots, I think are really like useful for shit like this. So yeah, that would probably be a close second. But shining star is definitely a stop motion. Well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Offspring Mysterious. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go sub to Offspring Mysterious' channel. They're only 6 subs away from 240. Make sure you go show him some love in the bird at my friends and YouTube as well. And of course, Offspring is on the road to 820 followers, only 9 away. So make sure you go show him some love on Twitter as well, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Ooh, shit. Alrighty, my friends. Up next would be the homie Laverius, but Laverius already submitted, and we already reacted to Laverius earlier in the show. So make sure you go check out the beginning of episode 222, and make sure you go show all of our Music Mondays Patrons some love. Alright, my friends. Up next is the homie Onwuka. Now, Onwuka's coming back with another classic, and Onwuka, being a very talented hip-hop artist, has submitted Let Me Teach Ya. Let Me Teach Ya. First song I crafted, remastered a bit, wrote it almost 10 years ago, which is crazy. I was going through a flow to studio and settled on this hook, essentially all about hustling, and I'm the teacher showing the whole procedure. Okay, that's even bars in itself. I'm down. I'm definitely down. Oh, shit. All right, let's get into it, man. We got lyrics in here on Spotify, bro. Let's go. Let's fucking go. All right, let's get into it. Onwuka, Let Me Teach Ya. Let's go. Throwing it back in 2021. A little bit of a classic here.
And you know we had to bring it back to this, the first song technically created by Onwuka. So you gotta throw it on the Onwuka classics. So let's get it.
Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya.
Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Had it with the cream on top, like you a barista. The feta professor dog when it come to the Chiba. I kill it like Dexter, but I dodge the Batistas. A sick, nasty, a rhyming creature. My spit's like you took a hit of kind, combined with ether. But back me kicking on top of the green, it's like I'm on the cover of FIFA. If the topic is green, I'm down if you got the bread wrapped like pita. They say that talk is cheap. Well, I'm trying to talk these things. You've cop these rings on all of my fingers. It's like I got the grind of Kobe, aligned with Jeter. They say the hustlers are nothing but lazy schemers, but I've been busting speakers since Justin Bieber was getting hushed by teachers. So how about you let the ballers talk and y'all lames can just stay shushed in the bleachers while I show these young cats how to get the funds back, how to hustle that reaper.
Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya. Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya.
I know what you're thinking, wow, man, a song about cheddar and reefer. Well, at least I'm frontin' like I had Berettas and he does.
Oh,
Who could play
shit.
a dog, I would never deceive ya, but the fella can bring you like whatever you need, bruh. To you, and I guarantee the smell it will linger. But I'm paranoid about getting caught, such as the thoughts of cheetahs. End up by myself, single in a cell, like amoebas. But like to see more trees when you hear jingle bells sung by a singer. Got my partners, I sound like a dumb hyenas. You looking for whoop, just got a scope for the big size sneakers. Yeah, it's the guy that stay black. You could probably call me Vegeta, Goku, the whole crew, Piccolo, Main, even Frieza. And I'm creeping around and killing it like I'm the Grim Reaper. So if you peeping the sound and feeling it, you better believe, gee, bro, why you always got to be a beater? When you know I'm the teacher, they can show you the whole procedure.
Tryna make cheddar from Reaper, let me teach ya.
Okay. 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 Wow. Now that is a banger. That is a fucking banger. First song I truly did is kind of remastered cut, but the hook is the same vocals from way back then. That is fire. That is so fire. Beat is wavy as fuck. I agree. Beat is crazy. Cat made it. He's hopped in the studio, started hitting melodies and this shit. Right. Yeah, he's just cooking. First true Onwuka classic. Dude like the bar, so he just made the whole track about hustling. Yeah, right. I like it though. Like that's so like. There's a couple lines in here that really stuck out to me that I liked a lot. But let's talk about it, man. Let's break it down. This is a fucking banger. All right. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's see here. Wow, this is the last track off of Kronwuka Classics. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's talk instrumental, man. I agree. I love the instrumental. I feel like this choice and like how that prod just kind of cooked it up on the spot is really solid for sure. But it's a very Onwuka kind of instrumental as well. You know what I mean? Like it's a very Onwuka type beat here. So not really shocked that Onwuka kind of slid on this, you know. But let's talk instrumental mix. I mean, even for something as classic as this, right? I mean, you're talking 2021. Lyrics are a bit older as well. And even then, the mix is still very much on point. Nothing like super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I can like really like gripe about. You know what I mean? Especially for something like this. You know, so shit. Vocals sit nice. Drums cut through nicely. Melodies really sound nice. Everything kind of complements each other as well. So, I mean, what can you say? You know, definitely no gripes on this one at all. You know, definitely not. Especially for its era too. You know. So instrumental mix very much on point. Instrumental shining star is definitely going to be the melodies. I like the drums a lot, but the melodies are very like iconic and very like catchy. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those instrumentals that you can like instantly hear after like 3 seconds of playing it. You know, like you're shuffling through your playlist, and then you know this comes on, and you just instantly stop because you know it. So yeah, let's go melodies. Let's definitely go melodies for sure. Um, let's talk vocals. Even the vocal mix, like, you know what I mean? Like the vocal mix is like really on point, especially for something, you know, again, that's a little bit more classic in the library. It's not like 4 years ago, it's like a super crazy long time. But you know, it takes time to perfect your art when it comes to mixing and recording and delivery and shit. But Onwuka hasn't missed a beat in quite some time, you know what I mean? And this one's right up there with current Onwuka tracks, so I have no gripes with the vocal mix at all. And like I always say, Onwuka has a really solid natural voice, so not much processing needs to be done here because you want the real full Onwuka effect, right? But outside of that, quality was good, levels were good. I didn't think anything was like fighting for space or anything like that. I thought Onwuka sounded really solid on this, for sure. So vocal mix, very solid. Yeah, right. 420. Yeah, right. I forgot 420 was yesterday. That's right. Yeah. It just seems to hit late. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Um, so vocal shining star though. Mm. You know, you could argue the hook here. The hook is definitely catchy, right? But I think writing in general really hits here. There's a couple lines in here where it you know raised an eyebrow. I was like, oh shit, you know. So even back then, Onwuka was like really writing their ass off. So I'm gonna go writing and lyrics in general, but you could kind of argue the hook. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk theme, aesthetics, Kronwuka classics. I mean, come on now. This is one of my favorite Onwuka covers just because of like of like what the project is, right? Like Kronwuka classics, and it's just Onwuka chilling there. Like I feel like it's so simple but so effective. I spoke about this cover not too long ago, but again, it kind of falls in line with a lot of the Onwuka classic art pieces and a lot of their singles and projects, right? But for like a compilation project of like classics, I feel like something like this is like super simple but straight to the point, and definitely hits the nail on the head for sure. So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, let me teach you. I mean, Onwuka explains it really well here. Wrote almost 10 years ago, which is crazy. I was going through flows of the studio, selling sook, essentially all that hustling. Now I'm the teacher, showing the whole procedure. Like, how can you not get behind that? You know what I mean? Like, especially like growing up and like, you know, if you know, living in those areas and living in places where you can't get a job and you're young, like, bro, like everybody has an experience like this, or they know somebody, you know what I mean, who was going through hustling shit. You know, they were just hustling all the time. So I felt like shit like this is like so. It's such like a canon event for like everybody's life. You know what I mean? So tracks like these always bring me back to like my teen years and shit, and like how crazy that type of shit used to be. You know, so I feel like Onwuka definitely hit the nail on the head for sure. And there's one line here that I really enjoyed here. I just want to take note of this. I know what you're thinking. Wow, man, a song about Cheddar and Reefa. Well, at least they front like had Berettas and heaters. That is a fucking bar and a half. That is a bar and a half right there. That is a fucking bar. When I heard that, I was like, oh shit. So that's how I knew Onwuka's real right there. I was like, what the fuck? Oh man. Oh my god. So again, it's just an honest, real track, but that's what you can always expect from Onwuka. Well done, my friend. Well done. Facts, you know the drill, especially back in the day. Right, right. Like, shit, it's so much different now, but totally takes me back, man. Totally takes me back. Well done. That was a fun track, man. That was a fucking fun track. I like this one a lot. But like I said, huge shout out to Onwuka, man. Make sure you go follow Onwuka on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Onwuka on Twitter. They're quite literally approaching 720 followers. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Well, cats be front, right? I mean, like, you know, it's one thing to like exaggerate on a song, but people will really be fronting, and it's not good. So seeing lines like that is always solid, you know, always solid to me for sure. But that does it, my friends. That concludes all of our submissions for episode 222. We had a pretty decent fucking night tonight, I'd say. But let's close it out. Let's give some shout outs. Let's show some love. Let's talk about what's coming over the course of the next week or so. And let's have a little conversation. So, per usual, first off, let's give a big shout out to the motherfucking chat, man. Huge shout out to everybody that tuned in and showed love tonight to the Music Mondays podcast, episode 222. Huge shout out to the homie Ghost. Huge shout out to the homie Jordan. Huge shout out to the homie Laverius. Huge shout out to the homie Onwuka. Huge shout out to homie Osprey Mysterious. And anybody else that lurked and chilled throughout the night, man. Even if you're just not chatting, you just want to throw the stream up on a tab or anything like that, it's much appreciated. So if you just want to tab up the podcast and just kind of lurk, we always appreciate that. But we also appreciate our chatters as well, man. So huge shout out to everybody who's hanging out in the chat tonight with us. And huge shout out to all of our submissions tonight, man. Huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patreons. Huge shout out to Laverius, Jordan, King Mark, Ryuki, Kruker, TDG, and anybody who's even following the Music Mondays Patreon. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight. Huge shout out to Black Cash, the homie Jordan, Most Dope Kimon, the homie Ghost, Brayden, Sin, Mavs, Emily Thorsby, Saint Zero, Ghost Candy, the homie Fonzie, Offspring of Sirius, Laverius, Onwuka, and anybody else that we did get around to. So, you guys know the drill, man. Submissions will be live for episode 223 tomorrow, April 22nd. So again, make sure you follow us on socials and stay up to date when all of our submissions do go live. You can follow us pretty much anywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, YouTube, wherever you're at, we are at. So make sure you follow Music Mondays on your preferred social and stay up to date with everything that we have going on. And per usual, you can stream all the Music Mondays podcast episodes on anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. All 221 episodes are available right now on all streaming services. Make sure you go run those up and go show all these artists some love, and go throw on the Music Mondays podcast while you're at work or something, man. And per usual, let's see here. So we got a big week ahead of us, man. Big week ahead of us. W Stream, I agree. W Stream goes. Much love, my friend. Thank you for coming through and supporting the show, homie. Yeah, man. So the big Patreon update's out. We're gonna be working on our next event here, and I think the producers are really gonna like it of the Music Mondays community. So I'm gonna be talking with the staff over the next couple of weeks and kind of ironing out some details for our next events. And summer's coming up, man. So you guys know the drill. like content and the events are about to start ramping up around here. So get ready for all that good jazz. But yeah, you'll see some updates roll out this week. New recruiting flyer. All that good jazz. We're going to be talking about some SoundCloud exclusives as well this week. New YouTube upload Thursday. You guys know the drill. And then, of course, new articles on Friday. But, yeah, that's pretty much that, my friends. That's pretty much that. So, per usual, I stream 5 to 6 days a week. We're always doing some watch party shit, some YouTube shit. We're going to be getting back to some games here on the channel soon. I just haven't had fucking time for that either. But, yeah, you guys know the drill, man. You guys know the drill. But I do stream pretty much daily, so make sure you come stop by, come kick it with the kid, and we'll be live next Monday per usual for episode 223 of the Music Mondays podcast. And per usual, follow, subscribe below. Everything linked below. All of our socials, all of everybody's socials is linked down below. And I'll be live tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be live next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Music Mondays podcast. You guys be safe. I love you all. Take care. And the top 3 artists of this show will be tweeted out as soon as the show goes off air. So make sure you follow us on socials and stay up to date. But you guys know the drill, man. W stream, W show. I love you all. Be safe. Thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow and next week for episode 223 of the Music Mondays podcast. Stay tuned. Be safe. I love you all. Take care. Later.